What it do? What it do? YouTube. I don't know what's going on, man. I have a live schedule. It's not popping up. Nothing's working. But Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night. No. So I hope everybody had a great holiday. Hope everybody got everything they wish for. Unless, you're part of Team Tank and you were wishing for Sador Sanders or a Cam Ward. That wish might be sailed. Or is it? Ray Love, what's good? There's a lot of people panicking because of the loss. The Raiders pulled the loss out. Many people, of course, Team Tank wanted the Raiders to lose, wanted to keep that draft spot. But how much did it really hurt the Raiders? There's a lot of players in this draft, and we don't have to go quarterback in the first round. I know everybody wanted one, but there's many, many other options. You love the win. I mean, right? We were on a 10-game slide, right? We were about to go 11 games in a row. That would be tied for the third longest losing streak in team history. But all those above that were combined 2 years. This is the longest losing streak in a single season. And if you're a fan, I don't know how you could be mad at the Raiders getting a win. I mean, yes, it knocked us out of a high draft pick, but if you look at the Raiders draft picks, not very many times have we had number one, but when we do, yeah, it turns out. So, I mean, we're still sitting at a good spot. We're at number 6 right now, and I think a lot of people are failing to realize that the Titans and the Jaguars still have to play each other. Both of those teams are ahead of us in the standings, and one of them has to lose unless they come out with a tie, which I mean could happen. Has happened before, so there's that to look forward to. On the other hand, we are playing the Saints, who just got smoked 34 to nothing and completely dog walked through the mud by the Green Bay Packers. Now, are the Raiders the Green Bay? Absolutely not, right? This defense has played very, very well the last 3 weeks. And the last 2 weeks, without their leader and franchise, Max Crosby, this defense has been fired up. And people keep saying there's no depth on this team. Then who the hell's playing right now? Because I think we have a rookie playing corner. I think we have a young guy playing safety. I think we have three defensive linemen, four defensive linemen, all backups. Our ends, both of our ends are backups. The whole defense right now is pretty much a backup besides Robert Spillane, Divine Diablo, Trayvon Morig, and the second year Jack Jones. I mean, am I missing somebody? Other than that, we're playing all rookies. I mean, all young guys, all backups. So to say this team doesn't have depth is just crazy when people say that. Now, do we have depth on the offense in the offensive line? Absolutely not. The offense needs depth. That's 100%. We need a clean house at running back. Sincere McCormick, a lot of people like me have been, rooting for Sincere McCormick to get his shot. He got his shot. Unfortunately, the man got hurt. Nobody wanted to see that. Hopefully he'll be back. They'll give him another shot. I think he earned that and deserves, a chance next year. But then on the other hand, I mean, what, 3 years he's been with the Raiders? He's been injured every single year, whether it's preseason, whether it's season, whether it's in practice. So that's another thing we got to take into account. Dylan Labe, bro. I still can't believe we have not seen Dylan Labe get one single rep in the backfield. Like, what is it? What does the guy got to do? Every running back we've had that's came into the game has fumbled this year more than once, except for Dylan Labe, because he's only got one rep the whole entire year, which is crazy. I don't understand it. We have no running game. We can't rush for 100 yards a game, and still Dylan Labe has not touched the ball. What's the excuse? What's the reason? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, the kid can catch out of the backfield. He's, pretty wiggly. He's elusive. He's got decent speed, and yet he can't touch the ball. And for him to go this long without, getting a chance is just ridiculous. And I don't understand it. Autumn windbags. Carter Holloman was good. John Leon, appreciate you. Billy D in the house. Just win, baby. Yeah, I mean, that's right. That's our motto. Just win, baby. It never says just tank or, just half ass try. Our motto is just win, baby. And people bitch all year long because we can't win a game. And then we finally win a game and nobody's happy. Now, I know this was a game that probably should not have been won. I mean, in the spot we're in, I could see how people would be upset. I know we need a franchise quarterback. I know we need a quarterback, but there are a lot of quarterbacks in this draft, and there are a lot of players in this draft. For one, I've been screaming, for the last 2 years that you don't draft a quarterback unless you have an offensive line around him to support him. Yes, we have a young offensive line, but that's it. We have a very young offensive line. They still need more reps. They need, all the practice they can get, and they still need to gel. They still need consistency. They still need continuity. It seems like there's a different guy out there every week. I think we had 5 straight weeks with the same offensive line, and they gelled. They look way better every single week they got to play together. And now, JPJ's back over to guard, and it's just a mix match. So, if you go out and you get offensive linemen, get receivers, get a running game, you might not have to get a quarterback to start right away this year. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are staying in college this year, and I believe Jalen Milroe might be one of them. Now, a lot of people say he's coming out, but I just don't think so. The man's all about his education. He's already got his bachelor's, which is absolute crazy for a man his age to already accomplish that. The kid is very, very brilliant, and I think a lot of people are underestimating this kid's talent. He's got one of the strongest arms coming out of college. You know, he's amazing with the ball in his hands, but he has problems seeing guys and throwing interceptions. But if you sit a year with a great offensive coordinator, a good, quarterback coach, all those things can be fixed. But not if you don't have offensive line. No matter who we bring in, you see Aiden O'Connell, which shouldn't even be running out there. He's much better standing in the pocket, taking shots, but they can't even give him long enough time to throw. And Aiden O'Connell has to run. The man had his career best rushing game, which is absolutely insane. And every time he runs, I don't know about y'all, let me know, but dude scares the hell out of me. I'm holding my breath thinking something crazy and wild is going to happen. I love Aiden O'Connell, but I've never ever said that the kid was the most athletic because I don't know how many athletic bones are in his body, but they ain't in his feet and his ankles. Like they, they are not there. But shout out to him for taking the effort. That's what AP said, right? We don't need a guy to run for 50 to 100 yards a game out of the quarterback position. We just need guys to make plays when there's nothing there with his legs, and he showed he could do that. Um, he was yelling at people on the sideline, yelling at Ritter. I don't know what he was yelling at Ritter about. I think they had to take a timeout because the clock was running down, so maybe he didn't get the play in. I don't know why he'd be calling plays, or I don't know what was going on with that, but there was some kind of miscommunication. Aiden O'Connell didn't look happy, so he's starting to be more vocal. And hey, maybe they can roll with Aiden if you get a solid run game around him, get him more protection, get him a couple more weapons because right now there's just not too many guys for him to throw the ball to. Brock Bowers 13, 14 times a game, 15 times a game. I don't know how many times he got targeted Sunday. Not enough to break the record, but man, the kid is just a freak of nature. And if you can just get, one more maybe a Brian Thomas Jr. style, tall, fast receiver out of this draft, a running back out of this draft, and some offensive linemen. Maybe go quarterback in the third round. We're talking about that. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft that people are sleeping on. But let me get into the chat because chat lives matter. Merry Christmas, Raider Nation. Billy D, what's good? Ray Love, salute, salute, salute. That's all salutes. Carter Holloman, what's good, man? Should we keep AP or fire him? Look, I'm an old man, bro. I'm old, so I'm old school, and I believe it takes minimum 3 years for somebody to turn a franchise around, to build a franchise, to get the correct pieces. And it hasn't been that for AP. He's had a horrible year when it comes to injuries. I don't think there's been a team that I can think of in the NFL that's had as many injuries as we have to starting key players. A lot of teams lose backups or, you know, lose guys that aren't in every single snap, but we're losing key guys consistently, and it's hurt us. It's hurt us really bad. They went with the wrong quarterback, which turnovers has cost us pretty much every game we've lost has been because of turnovers. And people, you can say I'm crazy, but just go look at the games. Halftime, we've been in every single game, just about, except for one. I think the Carolina game. Third quarter, we've been pretty much in every single game until a turnover. Most of those have been turnovers for interceptions for a touchdown, fumbles for touchdowns. You can't win ball games like that. So I believe AP deserves another chance. Now, yes, he's made stupid calls, but he's a rookie coach. He had half of last year. He's had, all of this year, but part of it was with a very, very bad offensive coordinator that, we don't know if he brought him in, if somebody else brought him in. So yeah, I believe he deserves at least one more year. I believe he's got one more year on his contract. And look, if he starts out the season and goes, 1-6 or 2-5, then I mean, yeah, it's time to go. Nothing's gonna change. But really, with this team and the roster that we have on paper, we should not be this bad. So it looked to me like, there was something going on from the get go. And this team was really trying to just, I don't know. I think after the first couple weeks, they were like, damn, what do we have? Like, what do we have here? But as far as the tank goes, I don't believe Antonio Pierce was ever in a position to tank, ever. Like, you can't expect the guy to go out there and say he's trying to tank for a quarterback unless this dude absolutely knows he's coming back next year. Same with Tom Telesco. Like, there's no way any of these guys are going to be like, oh, let's just not have a good year when their contracts are very, very slim, like very, very small. What else we got? We don't need Sanders. Keep drafting best player available. I mean, yeah, let's talk about that. If we go best player available, so let's see the top of the draft board, which a lot of people have it different, but let's just go Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, Shador Sanders. You got offensive tackle Calvin Banks, another quarterback Cam Ward, um, wide receiver T Mac out of Arizona. You got Mason Graham, defensive tackle. I mean, I don't think that's a spot we need right now. The way Jonah Lalu, I probably butcher his name every time, but man, the way the hometown, homegrown Vegas boy has stepped up, I think that dude solidified that spot. So I don't think we need to go, defensive tackle. What the hell is in my nose, bro? But defensive end, depending on what we do, uh, with Malcolm Kuntz, being a free agent, I don't know what we're doing with Kuntz, but a guy I really, 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 really like is, Penn State Abdul Carter. This man is very, very special. Reminds me of, I'm not going to give him comps yet, but yeah, this dude is a beast. If you go cornerback, we're sitting there at 5, or we're sitting there at 6 now, but we can move up to 5 or 4. Like I said, the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars have to play each other, and somebody has to lose that game. Both of those guys are sitting above us. That moves us up one more spot, or maybe 2 spots. Somebody up there might win a game. So, you got Will Johnson out of Michigan, which last time we drafted a corner out of Michigan in the first round, if anybody knows his name, comment in the chat below. But I do believe he's one of the greatest Raiders that we've had in many, many, many moons. Yes, 2-4, Charles Woodson. Y'all take too long. So, Will Johnson, 6'2", runs a 4.40, is one of those guys that's a beast. I see a lot of Ashton Genty in there. Yeah, Woodson, y'all got it. Ray Love knows what's up. Billy D knows what's up. Um, Facts 100. Did I miss something? I don't know what I missed. All right. Even if we drafted a quarterback at number 1, we would have to sit. Wait. Oh, he would have to sit. So why not draft a quarterback second or third round? That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been screaming the whole time. Like, if Tom Brady gets his way, everybody knows Tom Brady is a firm, firm believer in letting quarterbacks sit for a year. Sit, learn the system, minimum a year. He says 2 or 3 years, which is absolutely crazy. He loves what they did, and with Jordan Love in Green Bay, let the kids sit for, 3 years, which is risky, especially now that guys are, staying in school for whatever 6, 7 years. Absolutely crazy. But there's a lot of guys we could get, James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. If you want to go defensive tackle, Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. Uh, if you want to go receiver, there's Trey Harris, which, bro, I really like that kid. That kid has just got amazing hands. If you want to go running back, Ashton Genty will probably be there at 5 or 6. I don't see anybody there taking him. But you also have to realize, if the Raiders really thought Shador or Cam Ward was that guy, why would they have tried to win this game? Like, what intentions do you have on trying to win a game that doesn't mean nothing, unless there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know? Maybe Mark Davis is like, bro, if you want your job, you better show me you can win. I don't care about those draft picks. You're going to have to win and, make do with whatever happens. Or has anybody thought of this hot take? Maybe Tom Brady's been in the building. Maybe Tom Brady sees Aiden O'Connell. Maybe Tom Brady's like, damn, this kid's pretty damn good. I mean, Tom Brady's supposed to be that great, quarterback whisperer, judge of talent. Maybe he sees something that we don't know. Maybe there's talks behind the scenes and he's like, bro, you could probably get away with this kid for a little bit. Like I said, get him an offensive line, get him a running game, you know, keep our guys healthy on the defense. We were supposed to have that top 10, top 5 defense. You give this kid a top 10, top 5 defense, like they've been playing, giving up under 20 points. What I think the last couple of weeks they're averaging under 16 points a game, which we were at the end of last season. If this team can continue to do that on defense next year with the guys we got, and like I said, bro, this team could be scary. You could go 1 year with the Aiden O'Connell. Maybe they see something in Carter Bradley that nobody sees, in practice. Maybe they're like, hey, this guy, maybe that's the reason they brought him, to the 53-man roster, because there's really no reason for Carter Bradley to be on the 53-man roster unless somebody in the building is saying, hey, put this kid on the roster, get him on the sideline, let him see what it's like to be out there. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of shit that we don't know goes on behind the scenes. Good night, Billy D. Probably gone by now, but appreciate it. John Leon says, I like Carter Bradley. So I was just talking about that. AP will get another year. I mean, at this point, you have to give Antonio Pierce another year. It would be absolutely stupid an asinine for this franchise to win that game Sunday and not bring back Antonio Pierce. I mean, what's the point in this? They have a plan. They obviously, when he said, talk to Tom Telesco upstairs, when they asked him, what do you say about fans, upset because you won the game? He said, talk to Tom Telesco upstairs on the third floor. Now, a lot of people took that in other ways, in different ways, but I'm taking that as, this man's got a plan. They have a plan. There's been reports saying that the plan was to tank all along. Taxi cab drivers have said they talked to his nephew, and bro, there's been all kinds of crazy wild shit. He's been gambling in the casinos after games. If any of this shit's true, maybe he won't be back. But I think it's a lot of bullshit, and I think people are just trying to get rid of Antonio Pierce like they were Josh McDaniels. And I think most of those people were the same people in the stands cheering AP, 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 when we were winning last year. Now that we're not winning, they're like, oh, get him the hell out of here. So, right? Thanks, Garner Minshew, bro. Like, this team, I guarantee you, we would have won so many games if it wasn't for Gardner Minshew, if it wasn't for the turnovers. Now it wasn't all his fault, but the turnovers are. The interception thrown for a touchdown on the goal line, when Brock Bowers was wide open and he throws it over his head. That's Gardner Minshew's fault. Aiden O'Connell wouldn't make stupid mistakes like that. And I'm not saying he's, great and doesn't make stupid mistakes, because I've seen a lot of balls where he's thrown that could have been intercepted and probably should have. Lucky for him, they weren't. Yeah, no Diddy. But I mean, a lot of games, pretty much every game we've been in it, even with bad defense, even giving up 130, 40 yards a game in some of those games, we were still in it in the third quarter. Most of them we were in it to the fourth quarter. What's good, Jeff? My guy, Raider Booster. If y'all ain't followed him, go follow him. Another great channel. But like I said, man, we've been in these games, we've competed, and turnovers have killed us. Fumbles from the running backs. Madison fumbled last week. The man's still getting carries. Amir Abdullah has fumbled, I think, twice this year, still getting carries. Dylan Labe fumbled one time, don't even get to smell the grass. And I think they took him off a punt or kickoff returns because he was running the ball out. Like, I guess, I don't know. They're like, bro, you can't be running, kickoff returns back for 40, 50 yards. That's not on the skip. That's not in the script, my guy. So yeah, I don't know what the thing is with Dylan Labe, but like, there's so many players in this draft that we could get, even if we're sitting, which there's a big possibility we're sitting at 10 or 9 or 8. Because if we win this game, I think against the Saints, it drops us down to, I believe, 8. And then what's the possibility that maybe the Chargers lose one of these 2 games they have coming up, and we play the Chargers with a chance to knock them out of the playoffs? Do you guys want to tank then? Are you guys still screaming tank? Like, if you have a chance to knock the Chargers out of the playoffs, are you still saying, all right, don't try to win this game? Because to me, if there's a scenario where we can knock the Chargers out of the playoffs their first year, with a coach that a lot of people wanted to be on the Raiders and never, he even went out and said he would have took the job, but they never interviewed him. Harbaugh, I think it would be great to go out on a 3-game winning streak. I think it would kill our draft. But again, we have 10 picks. We have 10 picks. And there's a lot of those teams like the Titans that could use a left tackle, that could use a center. I don't think we need Andre James anymore. I mean, he's a good backup, but I'd rather have Will Putin, who's on the practice squad, keep that guy around. And, we've seen in practice how that man has fire. He's got that same JPJ energy. And I don't know why they brought Andre James back out, because to me, they should have put in Will Putin. Will Putin, that guy should have definitely been getting some reps. He's been on the practice squad all year. They brought him up, I think, one game, didn't use him. But why not put him at center and see what you have these last couple games? Because Andre James just is not it. We already know Andre James is not it. And I'm tired of AP. I keep going back to, the money. The money is not about the money. It's not about, where you were drafted, bullshit. Then what is it? What is it? Why is this guy out there? Um, AOC puts too much on his throws. He don't know when to put touch on it. I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he has too great a touch pass. I think everything's thrown like a baseball, which is bad, especially when a lot of our plays are 5 or 10 yards down the field. And but sometimes he does. You got to say that the almost touchdown to Trey Tucker, he put it right over the head, right in his breadbasket. That was a perfectly thrown ball, you know, dropped perfect rainbow, in my opinion. And the kid's just getting better, man. He's progressed. He's progressed every game. Last year, he wasn't even running the ball. He was scared to death to run the ball. Last year, he was not talking shit to nobody. He wasn't coming off the sideline mad. He was quiet. This year, look, in the is it just me or in the last press conference, did he have his hat backwards for the first time? Did he have a little bit of swag to him? Am I reading into this? But Aiden O'Connell, to me, you know, he had a little joke at the end. He's starting to come out of his shell. This kid, man, I'm telling you, I thought it was hilarious. I was like, well, look, Aiden O'Connell got his hat on backwards. He just looked, a little different to me. Looked like he grew up like overnight or something. I don't know, but I really like this kid, man. I really like his potential. And I know people that follow this channel have known I've been on that Aiden O'Connell train saying this is the guy that we need to give a shot and just see what he has. Drafted in the 4th round, all the shit he went through his rookie year. I mean, the kid doesn't blink. He doesn't get rattled. Sack after sack after sack in his first ever career game and still almost comes back and gives us a chance to win that game. Like the kid has potential. He has potential and he could definitely be a bridge quarterback for one more year if we draft a guy in the 3rd or 4th round, or because there's a lot of quarterbacks you could draft in the 3rd round, but there's one guy in particular. Let's go to his quarterbacks um, that I really want to talk about. So on on this mock draft board, I won't tell you which one it is, but on this mock draft board, they have the quarterbacks, of course, listed as Shador number 1, Cam Ward number 2, Jalen Milroe. Like I said, I don't think the man's coming out, but if he does, straight. But I think he's going to stay in school. But they have Jalen Milroe, the 3rd best quarterback. They have Quentin Ewers, 4th. They have Carson Beck, 5th. Dylan Gabriel, 6th. Curtis Rourke, 7th. Cade Klubnik, which is staying in school, I do believe, 8th. Jackson Dart, 9th. And my man that I really, really think the Raiders need to go after, and I don't know why nobody's – well, obviously they are, because I'm going to tell you why. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, bro. Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. This kid, 6'4". Now, he could probably put on some weight. I think he's like, 219 or 218, but you get in the Raiders system, you get in the weight room, over the offseason, you put on another, 10 pounds in weight, and I guarantee you can put on 10 pounds in muscle in the offseason if you get him on the right system. But this kid is 6'4". But the best part of it is the man runs a 4.5 240. Yes, you heard me right. 6'4" and runs a 4.5 240. Bro, that's absolutely insane. The kid has a cannon for an arm. He can put touch on the ball. He leads receivers. He's pretty damn good at reading defenses. The man shined in Duke. Like, he was just absolutely crazy. They gave him way more lead room than he has over in Notre Dame because, he had a better run game in Notre Dame. They got a couple running backs, out of the backfield. They get a lot of attention, but this kid is a freak, bro. He's very, very mature for his age. He cares only about football. He doesn't care about watches. He doesn't care about cars. He doesn't care about none of that bullshit. He reminds me a lot, and people are gonna think I'm crazy for comping this, but if you don't believe me, put the film on side by side, put on tape. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. I'm telling you, put on film of Josh Allen, put on film of this kid Riley Leonard, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, man. The same size, like I said, could put on a little bit weight. He doesn't have quite as strong as an arm as Josh Allen, but who does? But if you look at this man, I'm telling you, and the reason I'm saying this is because 3 weeks ago on the same drafts thing, he was the 20th or the 19th ranked quarterback in this draft 3 weeks ago. You know where he is now? 10th. So there's a lot of scouts checking out this kid. He's moving up draft boards, and we haven't even got to the senior, to senior day. We haven't even got to the combines, which when the man gets on the field in the combines and shows his quickness in the 40-yard dash, which I don't know if he'll run the 40, but when you run a 4.52 40, I don't know why in the combine you wouldn't show that skill and showcase that because look, the kid has toughness, he takes shots, and this is definitely a kid that the Raiders, if they haven't already, should scan scouts out. And I know a lot of people say they have guys that watch every content creator's videos. So if anybody in the Raiders is watching this shit, send your scouts to Riley Leonard for the rest of the championship because I believe they're going to win next week and they're probably going to win the week after. This team is going to be hard to beat with a good quarterback. They got Love out of the backfield, which is just crazy, crazy running back. Their defense is solid. Man, their defensive line is nasty. So watch out for Notre Dame and watch out for this kid to keep moving up draft boards. I'm telling you, he's going to surprise the shit out of people. No Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, like, I, let's see what they have him on here. They have him at 6 foot, but he runs a 4.8 340. Now he's very mobile. He's very athletic. The kid's an athletic freak. Like, but the 6 foot scares me, dude. 6 foot scares me. And I've been in plenty arguments in, people's lives and people's chats want to comment and clap back, but clap back all you want. Cause I'm telling you, like you can name all the names you want to, but quarterbacks, they have him at 6 foot, but I don't even think he's that. I believe he's probably 5'10, maybe 5'11. And even that at 6 foot, nowadays these offensive linemen are just so big. And I know, if the offensive linemen are down in the right position, they're not 6'7" or 6'8" the height they are. They're probably, closer to 6'4" or 6'3", if they're in the right technique. But how many offensive linemen are constantly in the right technique? And with a small guy that's 6 foot, you have to have throwing lanes. You have to create throwing lanes. Gardner is 6'1". Now we've seen the problems we had with Gardner Minshew all year long of having to roll out of the pocket, throw on the run. He's not good at throwing on the run. Oh, and another thing, Riley Leonard, I think it's better throwing on the run than he is standing in the pocket. So that's another thing. Like when you have a guy like Brock Bowers in the middle of the field that this kid could throw to, like Riley Leonard would be a steal for this team, man. I'm telling y'all. But Dylan Gabriel's size just really, really scares me. It really scares me. Curtis Roke is another guy, 6'5", runs a 4.7 40, not the greatest speed. That's pretty much like Aiden O'Connell speed. I think Aiden O'Connell somewhere like that for, I think 4.8, 4.9, which is Patrick Mahomes style speed. So, you don't have to be super fast to be a quarterback, and you have to be crafty. And that's what Patrick Mahomes is. He's very crafty. He knows when to run. He knows how to run, and he's not fast. He just knows when he has, the best opportunity to pick up the most yards possible is when he runs. So, um, Jackson Dart is another one of those guys, 6'2", but he's not very fast, but he's very mobile, very athletic, has a big arm, will take shots, standing in the pocket, not afraid to run, just not very fast. Kyle McCord is another guy, but look, 4.95 speed. Like I'm telling you, if you want a dual threat quarterback in this draft, that everybody slept on. What Josh Allen fell to what the seventh, seventh pick or whatever. I'm telling you, Riley Leonard is that dude. And I watch a lot of film, a lot of quarterbacks. I break down a lot of shit. I watch Shador, Cam, Jalen Milrow. Like I said, I really like Jalen Milrow. If you bring him to a team where he could sit for a year or two, man, this guy is, deadly. But Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, I think those guys are the same thing, bro. They're gonna have to sit for, a year or two. And under pressure, they're not very good. Um, Another thing about Riley Leonard is under pressure. He's got a very good percentage under pressure. So when he knows he's gonna get hit, knows he's gonna take shots, that he doesn't lose velocity on his balls, he doesn't lose accuracy. And if you go that route, in the third or fourth round, then you have to think of protection, right? Now, a lot of people say this draft is not very good when it comes to offensive linemen. Um, Kelvin Banks is one of the top guys. On the White Milliam, another guard, one of the top guys. Will Campbell, we don't know if he's coming out yet. Like I said, these guys have till the 28th, I believe, which is 3 more days. You know, to declare whether they're coming out of the draft or whether they're staying in school. But Kevin Banks out of Texas, a pretty big boy, 6'4". Not very fast, pretty decent, athletic wise for his size. Um, White Milliam out of West Virginia is one of those guys. He's an offensive tackle, but he's probably a guard in the NFL. But his size, bro, at 6'6", like I don't know if he'd be a guard in the NFL. He's pretty quick, pretty good hands. If they keep him at tackle, that might be a pickup. That might be a pickup if he could be, a tackle in the NFL. But he kind of reminds me of a guy we have, out of Arkansas. And Jeffrey, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Sorry if I missed you. And Dalton Wagner, Tony Angel, what's good? Dalton Wagner is one of those guys that we still have on the roster that, plays right tackle. Do you think about possibly moving, DJ Glaze to guard and, maybe giving this kid a shot, or keeping Munford at right tackle, moving DJ Glaze to right guard, and doing something with left tackle? Or do we keep Colton Miller? Let me know y'all's thoughts. Do you keep Colton Miller around, or do you try to package him in a trade? Like I said, if you're trying to move up in this draft to get a quarterback, there's teams like Tennessee, there's teams like Cleveland, there's teams in front of us, the not the Titans, but the Jaguars, that could use a left tackle, that could use a center. Now I don't know if their centers, any worse than Andre James. But there might be teams that would look, that are interested in a guy like Andre James. Also, you know, out of Ohio State, Josh Simmons. I think that's another guy you could go at tackle. I'm not sure if he plays left or right. I don't think I'm sure on any of these guys. It does not say. Um, Cameron Williams, another guy. I don't know, you know, how he's going to look in the combine. He's got 2 knee braces, had some knee trouble. I think he got hurt this last game Saturday, so I don't know what's going on with that guy. But man, another just 6'5", another monster. Texas is one of those teams, always has pretty decent offensive linemen, but position that we really, really need, because if you keep Colton Miller, I'm fine with DJ Glaze at right tackle. I think the man balled out for a rookie, and he's only going to get better in his career. Tate Ratledge out of Georgia. This man is JPJ at guard, bro. Like 100%. What the fuck happened to my tablet, dude? Virus on everything. But yeah, this dude is absolutely JPJ 100%. Just got that fire mentality, that dog mentality, that motor, constantly just looking for somebody to hit. And bro, if you could get a kid like that, which I mean, I don't know if you're taking him in the first round, but if he falls, I don't know. Like I said, there's 32 teams, so I don't know how many of these teams need guards or tackles or are willing to take these guys in the first round. But if a guy like Ratledge falls to the second round, that would be an absolute steal for the Raiders. That would definitely shore up this offensive line. You know, I don't think um, Parham is just too light, bro. At 285 pounds, he just gets moved around too easily. I think he did, pretty decent last year, but he had bigger guys around him. This year, he just, seems like he's on skates way more. Um, but yeah, there's a lot, bro. There's a lot of guards in this draft. There's tackles in this draft, and I think you know go first round, maybe go corner, maybe go. I wouldn't go tackle because we got DJ Glaze last year in the third round, and I think Tom Telesco is pretty decent. You know, or I don't think it was all Tom Telesco. I think a lot of this draft, when it came to the linemen, had a lot to do with Joe Philbon. And if Joe Philbon's still in the building, bro, I definitely want him in the draft room because I think that's why we got DJ Glaze is because Philbon. Philbon, it said in an interview that he was the one that did the Zoom call with him. He talked to the kid for an hour, and it was pretty much him that said, "Go draft this kid." So, you know, a lot of people said a lot of shit about, and I said a lot of shit about these coaches, but Phil Bond at the beginning of the year was one of the guys I said, you know, could be one of the guys to help this team turn it around. But I thought he was going to be offensive line coach, and I thought James Gregg was going to be, offensive line or offensive line assistant like he was before. I didn't know Joe Philbon was just going to be like assistant or the like head of offense altogether. So once he took over this offensive line and they got rid of James Craig, you see a totally different offensive line. Like the offensive line's firing off the ball. Their technique's better, their hands are better. They're not getting beat as much. Okay, on the left side, Colton Miller still is on skates, but other than that, what about the quarterback from Arkansas? He's not coming out. Taylor Green staying one more year, and you know that's a huge, huge reason why I wouldn't get a quarterback this year. Like you said, I would take one in maybe the third or fourth and see how he pans out. But there are so many kids coming out next year, and Taylor Green is 6'6", 234 pounds, and runs a 4.4440. Yes, that is Ashton Genty speed. 4.4440. So this kid out of Arkansas, bro, is a freak of nature. Like he needs you know, he definitely needs time with Bobby Petrino, and he's in Bobby Petrino's offense. And Bobby Petrino is one of the best offensive coordinator minds, I've ever seen in college. Like anytime he goes to a team, they pretty much turn around like that. And he turned around this Arkansas Razorbacks team, when he took over as coach last time. Unfortunately, he couldn't stop messing with those young girls. And then my man got the boot. But now he's back in Arkansas, and Bobby Petrino, bro, is a quarterback whisperer. Like that guy has taken quarterbacks that Ryan Mallett made it to the NFL, like because Bobby Petrino. Tyler Wilson, Tyler Wilson is a guy that the Raiders drafted a long, long time ago. Some of y'all might not be old enough to remember that, but that was another Bobby Petrino guy that a small quarterback, 6 foot, probably should have never been drafted to the NFL, but because he was in a Bobby Petrino system, you know, the kid had a hell of a senior year, and somebody took a shot, and it just happened to be the Raiders. Like, I think it was right after they drafted Jamarcus Russell, I do believe. So yeah, that's the Arkansas quarterback. If you want to talk running back, go watch Jaquindon, Jaquindon Johnson out of Arkansas, another just beast running back, 6'2", 230 something pounds. Not the fastest guy, but if you want a guy, who could just carry the load, pause if necessary, pretty much every snap if you want him to, he's definitely that guy. If he can stay healthy, he does have a little bit of health issues, but yeah, Green. I can't. I would love to see Taylor Green in a silver and black jersey. This kid is one of the best. He reminds me so much of Michael Vick, but he's 6'6". He reminds me of a 6'6" Michael Vick. Can you imagine a 6'6" Michael Vick, bro? That's just freakishly athletic. Freakishly. But man, what's good in the chat? How's everybody Christmas? What'd y'all get? Y'all get any Raider shit? I didn't get no Raider shit for Christmas. Mason Crosby next Christian Wilkins. Wow. I like Mason Crosby, bro. I like Mason Crosby. I think he's a beast. I think he would definitely shore up this defensive line. But like I said, I think Jonah Lalu is not giving up that spot, bro. I think this man ain't going nowhere. They're gonna keep him in training camp. And I believe he might be taking his starting role over Adam Butler. Maybe they keep Adam Butler in, they keep him in the rotation. But if you get Wilkins, Adam Butler, and Jonah Lalu in rotation next to Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz, if they bring him back, Caleb Von Chasen, the way he's been playing, Snowden, I don't know what's going on with that dude. Cowtown Luda, what's good, my guy? Where you been? Merry Christmas. Good to see you, pimp. I don't know what's going on, so shit. Cowtown, what's good with you, man? What you think about the win? We need to resign Adam Butler. We re-signed Adam Butler, but we didn't resign him. But for what, a year or two? Was he under a 2-year contract? Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit them likes, subscribe. Well, we did hit 1,000, but then two people unsubscribed to my channel, probably because the last 3 days I've had, nothing but problems trying to go live. I'll try to do it on YouTube. It wouldn't work. I tried to do it on StreamYard. StreamYard was froze. I couldn't get that shit to work. And yeah, so I've scheduled 3 lives, and so far none of them have worked. So we were almost to 1,000, but it doesn't matter because I think we're like 400 hours away from watch time. So if anybody in this chat gets bored, wants to help a guy out, wants to give me something for Christmas, put on my playlist, fall asleep, and let it play through all my videos. That would be the greatest Christmas present ever. I'm just saying. Jeffrey says, salute, Merry Christmas to all the Raider Nation brothers and sisters. Shout out to you, my guy. Jeffrey in the building. So what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think? You think if we stay right here where we're at number 6, right? Who do you take? Do you take Genty? You go best player available? I mean, if you go best player available, it's got to be Ashton Genty, right? At that spot, number 6, unless Abdullah is there. But man, I don't know. Do we really take another defensive end or defensive lineman in this draft? All the tank ballers mad. Oh, bro, they mad as hell. They mad as hell. Just wait. Now that I know this works and I can found somewhere else to go live, y'all gonna love my thumbnail for tomorrow. I'm just saying. But yeah, bro. Hey man, I don't. If people get their panties in a wad, that's fine. I could totally understand. We did have a great opportunity that we missed out on. But really, we're taking a risk at a quarterback, whether it's Shador or whether it's Cam Ward, that on everybody's, Mel Kiper and all these dudes that do all these mock drafts, they have these guys, you know, the 14th best player, the 10th best player in the draft. Quarterback needy teams are not moving up to take these guys, right? Quarterback, not quarterback needy teams are not moving up to take these guys. They're not guys where, like a Michael Penix last year, where the Falcons were like, holy shit, this guy's still here. We got to take him. You don't have that in these guys, to me, right? I don't think either one of these quarterbacks are Michael Penix, are as good as Michael Penix. And as you've seen in the Falcon game last week, his rookie debut, the kid was just looked pretty damn clean, right? 200 yards, didn't make any mistakes, had a tip ball for an interception, but, made some plays with his legs. Michael Penix looked pretty damn good. But I don't think there's any of these guys that are in this draft. AOC may win out. Bro, I hope he does win out. Like the kid, I hope he does. I think, he deserves it. This team deserves it. But I think that might be very bad for Antonio Pierce and this staff. If he wins out, that's like if you're evaluating Antonio Pierce, right, at the end of the season, let me know in the chat. 10 people in here. You're Tom Telesco, or you're Mark Davis, and you're Tom Brady. Okay, 8 people. Nobody wants to join in. But you're Tom Telesco and Tom Brady. What do you do in this situation when you're evaluating Antonio Pierce and you say, all right, he decided to go with Gardner Minshew, or let Luke Getsy go with Gardner Minshew, or however he wants to put it, whoever you want to point the finger at and point the blame at, the whole staff, and Tom Telesco included, because he's the general manager. So, he should have some say, right? And who's gonna start or who's gonna play. I don't know how that works. General manager probably washes his hands. He just gets the players, and the coaching staff depends on who's gonna play. But the coaching staff and who AP hired and Luke Getsy decided to go with Gardner Minshew. That right there should be grounds for fired, in my opinion. Because even when he had a chance to sit him, he still went back to him. And then when he had a chance to sit him again, he still went back to him. So you kept going back to Gardner Minshew. That was the worst mistake. The second mistake, you have 4 running backs on this team. Every one of them has fumbled more than once. Every one of them has fumbled more than twice, except for Dylan Labe, who's got 1 carry and never touched the ball again. That's bad coaching. That shouldn't, that's got to be looked at. Then you also have to look at the fact that Aiden O'Connell is almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs, minus a misstep and a fumble. Almost came out and beat the Chiefs again. Then you also have to look at the fact that when you put Aiden O'Connell in the games we were losing, he came right down the field, drove down the field, and scored. Now you're going to have to look at the fact that, bro, Aiden O'Connell hurt his thumb, missed 4 games, comes in like he didn't miss a beat, right? Plays pretty damn solid, wins you a game that, a lot of people didn't want you to win, ends a 10-game winning streak. Last year, Aiden O'Connell, because he went on this amazing hot run in his last 5 games, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Name me a rookie that's ever done that. Go back after stat after stat after stat and find me a rookie to throw 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his last 5 games of a season. Any rookie quarterback, but find me one that was drafted in the 4th round with 2 different coaches, 2 different offensive coordinators. You can't. So, look, that's going to look bad on Antonio Pierce, and especially if Aiden O'Connell somehow pulls it out against the Saints and then goes and beats the Chargers again, a team he put up 63 points on last year. That is going to make AP, I mean, that's he's done with, right? So AP's in the most shittiest spot he could possibly be in as a head coach, because your owner, Mark Davis, wants you to win ball games no matter what. He don't care about the draft picks. Obviously, he was in there celebrating, smoking cigars with them, cheering them on. He don't give a shit about that, right? What he does care about is winning ball games. But winning ball games for AP could hurt him more than it's helping him, like I just said, because he's got to do a whole evaluation. You're like, so wait, Aiden O'Connell was gelling with Devontae Adams, with all these guys, Michael Mayer last year. They had a good connection, a very solid connection with Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers last year. The run game was working. You let Bo Hardegree go. You promote a coach after you fire Luke Getsy, who was already in your system, who you didn't promote the first time. Like, why didn't you bring back Bo Hardegree, bro? He has like he's in a stranglehold. Like he's in a lose-lose situation unless they've already talked about the contract situation and they're like, he's got one more year. That's the only way I could see them doing what they're doing. There was no reason to win that game except for, pride, except for to end a losing streak, which, hey, I'm like I said, ecstatic with every win. It's just win, baby, is our motto. Our motto doesn't say just tank, just play hard half the time. Like it's just win, baby. But the fact that we constantly have a new head coach on average every year and a half is devastating to this franchise, bro. It hurts this franchise. And, I hope somehow they can go around and be like, whatever, I don't know. But who else is there? That's the thing, is who else is going to want to come in? I know you got Brock Bowers, but now you just lost the number one draft pick, and the best chance you had to get a head coach to come in here, like a Ben Johnson that everybody wants, or like a Bob Slowick, or any of these guys. To me, the best chance you had to get one of those coordinators to come coach the Raiders was the fact that you had the number one pick and they could choose if they wanted to go defense, offense, running back, kicker. They could choose who they wanted to build their franchise around. Now they don't have that. So that lessens the job. The fact that, Tom Brady's going to be in Mark Davis's ear, um, the general manager, who knows how much say he really has. We know that Tom Telesco is not very good at hiring head coaches. Will he be involved in hiring a head coach if they do decide to move on from Antonio Pierce? I mean, there's so much shit going. There's so many things that that could go wrong and that are going wrong. My man Luda says, "See you, Antonio Pierce." AP not only failed to prepare team win, evaluate. Oh wait, evaluate who should start and manage games. He failed to hire competent coaches under his leadership. I can agree with that to a point. To a point, like Luke Getsy was probably not the greatest, and I try to give Luke Getsy the benefit of the doubt because he was a Raider, and maybe the shit that went on in Chicago was bad, but no, he just came over here and just made it look even worse. But the fact that they waited that long, right? The fact that Antonio Pierce didn't want Luke Getsy, he wanted the guy that's over there killing it, watching Jaden Daniels throw 5 touchdowns a game in Washington. So that's definitely gotta help. And it's right now, it's so even to me when I look at all the bad shit Antonio Pierce has done, and then look at all the shit he's been through, with the injuries, with the quarterback roller coaster, which he said he wasn't gonna have and didn't want to put a band-aid on the quarterback situation, which, bro, you don't need a band-aid, you need a damn staple gun to stop the bleeding. Like, even after the win, we did only beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? It was the worst team in every category, like I said. um Luckily, the turnovers, how, what, 12 is what, luckily turnovers know what 12 is. The fact that they didn't even interview or search for any other up and coming offensive coordinators. I think they did. I think they interviewed a lot. I think they tried to get what's his face, the offensive coordinator from Ohio State. That was AP's number one guy, but he turned him down. He said he didn't want to go nowhere. He wanted to stay in Ohio State. And Then they tried to get um with Scott and North Turner. See, I don't know what happened with Scott and North Turner. I don't know why Scott Turner wasn't promoted the first time and they went with Bo Hardigree, who had never had any experience calling plays and had never been anything in the NFL but a quarterback coach. But they decided to go with Bo Hardigree over Scott Turner last year. And then when everything goes wrong this year, they decided to go with Scott. If I was Scott Turner, I'd have been like, bro, I don't want the job. Like, Scott and North Turner. Oh, know what 12 is? Yeah, I mean, I think the Turners. I don't know about them. What do you think? You think Scott Turner will take the job with Belichick? I mean, I don't know how you could turn it down. That's part. That's something you could put on your resume that not many people could say. And I thought, Josh McDaniels would have been on his list over there in North Carolina, but apparently Scott Turner's on. But Scott Turner said he's not worried about none of that. He wants to be a Raider. He's trying to be a Raider and just worried about the season. But I don't know. Would you keep Scott Turner around? I kind of like what he did with the offense, but we still have no run game. He might unless LV. What do you think? The head coaching job and have his daddy as the assistant? I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think Scott need to go get a new offensive coordinator. Oh, we definitely need a new offensive coordinator. We need to go get an up and coming offensive coordinator. Is what we need. We need to go find, the next John Gruden or the next, Dick Daniels, whatever. But we need to go find the next up and coming guy. Be Bizlaw, what's good? What's good? There are two factions in Raider Nation: Just Win and the Tankers. Just Win, baby. Well, you're on the right show because we are all part of Just Win, baby. None of us is down for that tank shit. But what do you guys think about this? Hear me out. I think you know how I feel about Antonio Pierce. Like, I don't care if Antonio Pierce is the head coach. If he goes one more year, I think it's fine. Because if he's a bad coach, we're gonna find out in the next year, right? And he'll be gone down the road. And I think we're still in a rebuilding process. I think we don't have all the pieces we need to compete. And I think Mark Davis really likes what Antonio Pierce has in mind for the future. Like, if you look for, go back and listen to his press conferences, what he said about we're not trying to make the playoffs this year. We're not trying to win the Super Bowl this year. We're trying to build this team to compete every year for many years down the road. He wants to build a competitive team for the next 10 years. He doesn't want to make it to the playoffs, have a chance at the Super Bowl, lose, and then fall off and not be good again. The dude wants to build a dynasty. So, Raider Ryan, what's good? Can he do it? I mean, I don't know if you put the right pieces around him. But if they do fire him, hear me out. Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur should be the Raiders head coach. And there's 5 reasons why. For one, Sean McVay tree. If you look at Sean McVay tree, his brother Matt LaFleur is coaching in Green Bay. I think Bobby Slowick is part of that. The list goes on and on. Guys that have come out of the Sean McVay tree. Sean McVay is, the quarterback whisperer. Just look what he does, quarterbacks' careers. He revives quarterbacks, bro. The man has been, he has 10 years experience. He's been in the 49ers tree. He's been, uh, offensive um, offensive assistant and passing game coordinator for the 49ers for 3 years. Then he was just passing game coordinator. So he was in the 49er system for 4 years. He was also Not to LaFleur? What do you mean though? Um, so the man's been a quarterback coach. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's been a wide receivers coach. He's been a passing game coordinator. He's been under the Kyle Shanahan. He's been under what the hell is the coach right now in Washington? Um, he coached under him. The man has been around, right? So he's been in the league 10 years, and now his second year with the Rams. The Rams offense, bro. Just look at the Rams offense right now. Like that team started out 1-4. They lost a couple weapons. Nakua got hurt. Cooper Cup got hurt. And as soon as those guys, even with them down, they were still competing. They were still in games. And now they're leading their division and they have a chance to make it to the playoffs. This is an up and coming guy that has reading what previous comments. Hold on. This is an up and coming guy that has all the talent in the world. His brother, like I said, is killing it in Green Bay. And if you look at the coaches that have come out of Sean McVay's coaching tree, these guys are all killing it. Need to get new. Hold on, let me find shit. No. Head coach OC. What? I might, but I interview the other options at OC first. I'll really depend on who's head coach. Next head coach may be a play caller. That's why I'm saying Mike LaFleur, bro. Like, he's an offensive coordinator, bro. He's an offensive coordinator. He's an offensive minded guy, and he would be great to help, groom the next quarterback that we bring in. Just look what he's the quarterbacks over there. Look at I don't know what I was gonna say. Cowtown Luda says less is more, keeping Scott and Norv and stability as well as no change in the playbook. I'm not with that less is more Antonio Pierce shit. I mean, I agree with you 100%. We need stability. And that's why I said I'm not mad if they keep Antonio Pierce for another year. And if they decide to keep, Scott and North Turner, like I'm not hating on that either. I think this offense, has been pretty good. They might have to get another run game coordinator in here and another, running backs coach, in my opinion, because I like Cadillac Williams, but the man is just not doing it for me. Like, but yes, like it's stability, bro. I'm all aboard Antonio Pierce coming back for one more year. Like I said, there's no reason to win this game to fire the man. There's no reason. Why would you win a game and then fire a guy when one of your biggest things to offer the next head coach is the fact that you had the number one pick or the number two pick. So why in the hell would you win a game and then fire your head coach? It makes no sense to me that at all. Can't waste another year seeing if AP can grow on the job. No more wasting years. This isn't high school. All right, Carbone. So you're telling me who we bring in? If you bring in a new head coach, what's he gonna do? He's gonna do what John Gruden did. He's gonna come in and trade, players like Khalil Mack, which is the Max Crosby of our team. He's gonna come in and clean house. He's gonna get his running backs, his quarterbacks, his coaches, and you're gonna be in a rebuild year for a whole nother year or two with a whole nother coach and a whole nother system. And it's going to take another 2-3 years to be good. So, I mean, wait for Antonio Pierce to see what he does. Wait one more year. What's one more year? It's going to take 2 or 3 years anyway. So you never know. This guy, definitely believe he has a plan. I know where he knows where he wants this team to go, what he wants it to look like. Yes, he hired the wrong offensive coordinator. Yes, he's probably hired the wrong running backs, but that was probably the offensive coordinator and Tom Telesco and him getting together and, bringing in guys that should have never been brought in, bro. Like, in my opinion, I was never happy with the Madison, pickup. The dude didn't do nothing in Minnesota as the starting running back. He just didn't show me starting running back quality. There were so many running backs we could have went and got, like a Saquon Barkley, or just kept Josh, But if you fire AP, it's a whole rebuild, and you have to think of repercussions. Everybody in this locker room, everybody in the building, from the the janitor to the cooks to everybody in the building praises Antonio Pierce. They love Antonio Pierce. They love the fact that he came in and said he wants everybody in the building smile. That's why there's people still in the building smiling now, even though we're losing and we're on a 10-game losing streak. There were still people in the building happy and smiling because they knew the future was bright. And if it goes the way he wants it to go, I believe this team can win. I mean, just look what they did his interim year. And yes, they made a mistake. They didn't go with Aiden O'Connell. But I believe if they went with Aiden O'Connell at the beginning of the year instead of Gardner Minshew, they might have had struggles the first 2 or 3 games, but we wouldn't have lost 10 in a row. There's no way. There is no way. And if they probably would have did that, I mean, some people might be happy, but Devontae Adams probably wouldn't have won it out. But look at Devontae Adams. He's looking like he's like, bro, they brought in Luke Getsy. He's going with the wrong quarterback. I said I didn't want a band-aid at quarterback. He was never happy with Gardner Minshew. Listen to all his interviews. It's just mistake after mistake after mistake. But you have to give somebody a chance to grow. Like I said, it takes 2 to 3 years, 3 years minimum. Now, I think the Carolina Panthers, their first or second year as a franchise, won the Super Bowl, but they also got great players from every team. So, there's that on top of that. But to turn a team around in a little amount of time, and you can't really count last year because they fired almost all those coaches from last year. They let a lot of players go, like Josh Jacobs that we needed, like Amik Robinson not having the greatest year over there in Detroit, but he had damn good years with us, right? He was the little spark plug of our defense, in my opinion. Yes to LaFleur. Agree with Mark. Who you like, Cowtown? Yeah, who you like, Cowtown? Catch back up. Can't type fast on this iPad. Raph, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you. Rest in peace, Kobe Lakers 24. What's good? What's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Where we at? Harbaugh turned the Chargers around year 1, and we're what? Oh, contemplating keeping AP. I'm like, what? And we're contemplating keeping AP. I don't know why the hell I couldn't read that. My bad. What a joke. I don't know what I got to say to that. For one, Harbaugh took over a team that our general manager, Tom Telesco, built, right? Everybody on that roster is Tom Telesco's guys, except for the receivers that he let go, and except for the running back he let go. 90% of that roster is Tom Telesco's. So Jim Harbaugh is doing exactly what our ex-coach John Gruden did in Tampa Bay and come and take over a Tony Dungy team that he built for many, many, many fucking years and then just came in and started winning. So, bro, it's not all Harbaugh. Harbaugh has a damn good quarterback in place. He had a pretty solid offensive line. He picked up one piece on the offensive line, tightened that shit up. He went and got a UDFA running back and, went and got Lad McConkey and is killing it. Went and got, a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator he knows very well, spent time with. These guys know each other. Yeah, he came and turned around that team in 1 year, but he had a quarterback in place. We don't have a quarterback in place. We have a 4th-round quarterback that most people hate on and say is a statue. So there's that. You have one of the top 5, okay, maybe the top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL already on your team. Not to mention, you have one of the best defensive ends on the left side and one of the best defensive ends in the NFL on the right side. They had key pieces. Yes, we have key pieces, but we didn't bring in the running back that we needed. We decided to go with Zamir White. We didn't bring in the quarterback we needed. We decided to go with Gardner Minshew. Now, if we went with Aiden O'Connell and we kept Josh Jacobs, bro, I believe this team is 12 and fucking whatever right now, whatever our record is. The opposite. 12 and 3, 13 and 3. I mean, even with the injuries, because people say we have no depth. And like I just went over, we have depth, bro. We have plenty of depth, and they're all proving we have depth right now because everybody on the offensive line is pretty much depth. DJ Glaze, was depth. He wasn't a starter at the beginning of the year. Jordan Meredith wasn't a starter at the beginning of the year. He's a depth piece. JPJ was not a starter. He was a rookie at the beginning of the year. Another depth piece. None of these guys were starters at the beginning of the year. They're all depth pieces. So we have plenty of depth on this roster, and most of it has been, brought up by Antonio Pierce. They have developed these guys, whether we want to like it or not, you hate the guy or not. They have developed, and for as many rookies as we have playing at a high level on this team, that that has to go in some consideration for this guy. What do we got? RIP Lakers says, if we don't land a top quarterback in Ward and Sanders, then go best player available. Defensive end, Abdul Carter, my boy. I love that. Penn State. Second round linebacker Campbell from Alabama. I'm down with that. Sign Holland from Miami. What? And get Dylan in the third. Dylan Gabriel? Yeah, bro. I'm not down with that. I'm not down with a 6-foot quarterback to come in and build a franchise around. Like, that is not a franchise quarterback. There's a guy that was in Georgia. What's his name? Stedman or whatever. That's same thing, 5'10, 5'11, who was undefeated for 3 years in Georgia, won national championships. That dude ain't playing. He was drafted fifth, sixth, something round. So, and he's athletic. The dude can run, got a hell of an arm. He's just small. So, no, I'm not down with that. Dylan Gabriel in the third. Maybe if we don't get a quarterback and he's there in the fourth, which I don't see, maybe he might be. Somebody might take a chance on him. Somebody might not. But no, I'm not on that. Definitely not on that train. But I do like Abdul Carter from Penn State. I'm just kind of, after the Tyree Wilson and the way shit's gone. But that dude is not a Tyree Wilson, man. That kid's a freak of nature. I'm down with that. What else did you say? Oh, the linebacker Campbell from Alabama. I'm down with that too. I don't know. He might be gone in the second round. You can't say a new coach is going to come clean house. Not all coaches are egotistical as John Gruden, but most of them are, bro. Most of them are. And especially if you're bringing in a first-time head coach, he's going to come in and make a splash, bro. All coaches want to make a splash. They're not going to come in, like Ben Johnson said, he has to be given a big contract, a long contract, and he's not going to take no other job, but he's going to want to be able to draft his quarterback, to draft his running back, to put his offense together. And he's not going to want, scrubs that somebody else drafted or that they think scrubs somebody else drafted. Most coaches come in and clean house. They're going to come in and bring a whole new offensive system, offensive coaching staff. You're going to have a new offensive line coach. Do you really want these rookies to have a new offensive line coach? They've already had two. Aiden O'Connell is already on his fourth offensive coordinator and second head coach, bro. And the kid is still playing better than most quarterbacks drafted in this year's draft and last year's draft. But yeah, most guys are going to come in and blow it up. Like, I don't want to see a new offensive line coach and have these guys have to learn a whole new system. Look how long it took for these guys to gel in the system this year. It was week 4 or 5 before they even started looking like an offensive line. Gardner Minshew was running for his life, the first 4 or 5 games and pretty much the rest of the season, because that's just Garner. But we have $100 million this season to get the best O-line players available and obviously re-sign Spill and Trayvon and Butler. Re-sign Morig, yes. Adam Butler, you have to bring back. Okay, Adam Butler, I don't know. You can bring back Adam Butler, but I think we're holding back Adam Butler if we bring him back and don't start him, because the man has proven, like he said in his press conference, he wants to be an every down back. He wants to be first, second, third down back. He doesn't want to be out there on third down. He doesn't want to be out there only on first down. He wants to play every single down. And he's proved that this year, in my opinion, that he can be that guy. Now, are the Raiders willing to give him that spot? because you have Jonah Lalu out there who's a rookie at Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, who's a homegrown Vegas boy who is balling out this year and getting, better and better and better. So do you put him next to Wilkins? You have Tyree Wilson, another guy that, they put on the defensive line. Um, you it just depends. If you're gonna start Adam Butler, then bring him back. But if you're gonna bring him back just as a depth piece, I think you're just hurting his career. I think the man deserves to be starting somewhere. But I'm not mad if he's willing to be a backup, which I don't think he is. Like, he plays with a fire right now underneath him because he's getting starting reps, and he said that's the position and role that he wanted to get. So, bring him back. Yes. Spillane. Here's my thing with Robert Spillane. If we ran, a 4-3 and we had two linebackers that can cover side, man, something is tickling the shit out of my nose. I gotta shave. What the if we ran a 4-3 and we had two on the outside that could cover, you know, like Amari Gainer just sitting there on the damn bench, not getting no reps at linebacker. Divine Diablo's best football is when he's in coverage. He's pretty good in coverage, not great at the run, horrible at tackling, but he's damn good. He's 6'4". He runs a 4 something 40. The man is fast. He's big. He's long. He's lengthy, and he's damn good in coverage. So if that was the case, sign Spills. But Robert Spillane hurts us so much when it comes to covering tight ends or covering running backs out of the backfield. If they send him on blitzes every time, that's great. But when they use him as a spy, he could sit there and spy the quarterback all game long and still get smoked. He could sit there and watch tight ends and linebackers, and running backs coming out of the backfield and still get smoked. I love Robert Spillane. He's one of our best tacklers, one of our best players, on defense, but he cannot coverage, and people take advantage of it. Every team we've played this year, go back and watch film, has taken complete advantage of Robert Spillane in coverage, sideline to sideline. All of his turnovers have come in the middle of the field from tip balls or, him cutting balls over in the middle. But, outside the hashes, the man's coverage is not great. But yes, I would bring him back if, I mean, just because he helps us so much that, whenever he does get smoked in coverage, our defense usually makes up for it most of the time. But there's been a lot of games that we've lost because blown coverage by linebackers. Exactly, Cowtown. Harbaugh is doing just fine in 1 year. Davis made a huge mistake not hiring him. Davis made a huge mistake not interviewing anybody. He pretty much gave the job to Antonio Pierce because the fans were screaming AP, AP, AP. And Mark Davis really likes Antonio Pierce. He really likes Antonio Pierce. He's very confident in him being a leader of men, keeping the locker room intact. In my opinion, fuck Pierce. Whoa, that's not nice. I was rooting for him until he started to run his mouth all offseason, making media day promos and showed his incompetence throughout the season. Bro, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But listen, Antonio Pierce is a Raider. He loves this franchise. He wants to turn this franchise around. He wants to win just as bad as me, just as bad as you, just as bad as everybody. He's younger than me, but he grew up rocking NWA, wearing Raider shit, living in Compton. The man wants this franchise to do well just as much as anybody. Where are you going to get another coach that has that much passion for this franchise? Where are you going to find somebody willing to work 80 hours a week like he says they're doing, in the front office that has that passion to make this team want to win? Nobody's going to care about the Raiders. Yeah, I guarantee you maybe Harbaugh would have, but he's already got a job and he's not giving it up. We screwed up on that. We missed the ball. We constantly screw up and miss out on shit. But you can't go back in the past and you can't change that shit around. Who are you going to get that is is passionate about winning the Raider way, winning for this organization as Antonio Pierce. You're not going to find another head coach that cares about this franchise as much as Antonio Pierce. Now, could it be our downfall? Yes, but it could also be our upfall because he's been a very damn good judge of talent. Like the people they brought in, Jonah Lalu, Caleb Von Chasen, even Harper starting to come around. All these guys they brought in, I'm sure he has something to say with telling Tom Telesco, these are the guys I want. Bring me these guys. Tom Telesco said a million times. Antonio Pierce says, these are the kind of guys I want, and I go get what he wants. So Antonio Pierce was a scout, head of scouting in Arizona. He does know players. They made him head of scout for a reason. He does know football. Like he knows how to gel with these guys. He knows how to get along with these guys, and he knows how to get the best out of them. And you can look at this season and say that's bullshit because of our record. But you can also look at the season and say we were in every game until Gardner Minshew threw a pick. We were in every game until Gardner Minshew fumbled the ball. We were in every game until Amir Abdullah fumbles at the 1 yard line. These are all games we should have won and won by a lot, but we didn't because of turnovers, because of, dumbass, stupid penalties. How many times have we got off the field on a third down and have it called back and then get a first down because of a holding call or a block in the back or a chip fucking just stupid penalties? Like that's not all Antonio Pierce. That's not. We have no run game. This is the worst running game I've ever seen in the history of the Raiders. 49 fucking years with this franchise. I have never seen us not be able to run the ball over 79 yards a game. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's not all Antonio Pierce. That's the offensive coordinator. That's the guys that he brought in. Yes, but he got rid of one in Luke Getsy, and it's still the same shit with the running game. We just don't have a running game. But we're competitive. These guys are still fighting. Name me one team that you see guys in their press conferences not hanging their head, not depressed. They still want to win. They still have fight, and they're still giving it their all. Most teams, watch teams around the NFL, these guys are like, shit, they ain't trying to tackle. They ain't trying to score. They ain't trying to throw the ball down the field. They ain't trying to do shit. They're trying to tank. These guys still want to play. They still battling. And I think that says a lot for this coaching staff, for every single one of them, to still be able to have these guys wanting to go to war and wanting to compete. Damn, I forgot where the fuck I was. Oh shit. I don't know what I read or what I didn't. Prior to preparation presents piss poor performance, piss poor planning, promotes piss poor performance, and promotes. How many times you write that? So funny. Hi, Merry Christmas. Awesome. Shane, my guy, was good. What'd you get for Christmas, bro? I don't like AP's snarkiness when asked about the draft. Bro, I didn't like it either. I don't like some of the way he cuts guys off. But you got to be irritated, right? You got to be mad as fuck of your AP. Like he's been going through this shit every single week, 3 times a week. They ask the dumbest questions. The media is dumb, bro. They don't ask hard questions. They don't ask questions that, the Raider Nation wants to know. They ask stupid asinine questions. Ask Telesco. With what? What the fuck is that shit? It just seems to have arrogance, like he already knows something about the status. I think he does know something about the status. And like I said all year, he just shows me a guy that, has a little bit of cockiness, that doesn't look like he's worried about his job. And maybe he knows something we don't know. Maybe Mark Davis has talked to him behind the scenes and nobody knows about it. Could be very possible, but he does look like he's a very confident guy, and he's not really worried about it. And look, I'm not pissed off at him for saying ask Tom Telesco, because obviously he was told to win games. Mark Davis said, I want this team to win, go win games. So he don't control personnel, right? He don't control who they're hiring, who they're bringing in. He don't control none of that shit, who they're drafting. The scouts are doing that shit. Tom Telesco's looking at that. He has the plan. And when it comes to draft day, they'll all sit, and say, hey, these are my guys, or before draft day, I hope, throw all their cards in a basket and talk about guys. But he just said, ask Tom Telesco, because that's Tom Telesco's job. And he has a plan, obviously. I think that was him saying, don't worry about it, Raider Nation. Tom Telesco has this in the bag. And maybe he does, bro. I mean, he did pretty good last year. Yes, he did have some guys fall into his lap. And I believe JPJ fell in his lap. I believe Brock Bowers fell into his lap. And I don't think, you know, if Chip Kelly was the GM, I don't think he would have passed on those guys either. So I'm not giving Tom Telesco all the credit for the draft. And I'm still not sold on the fact that he did not try to bring JPJ away, or Josh Jacobs back, and took the heart and soul of this team, bro, and thought you could go running back by committee with no running backs. You got a guy that's been in the league 11 years, hasn't really done shit. You got a guy that was a starter, never really done shit. And you got a guy that, is on his third year and had 4 games over 100 yards and you thought was going to be the starter for the future. So all that shit is killing him. But I believe he was just saying, "Hey, ask Tom Telesco. He's in charge." And maybe he got a phone call saying win. Maybe that was the plan all year. Maybe they weren't trying to win. And look, there are tampering charges, right? This is the NFL. And when ignorant content creators and ignorant fans hold up signs saying just tank for Shador, you don't think the NFL's looking into that shit? You don't think they're looking into that shit? You don't think they're investigating every possible thing? You don't think they got people interviewing people in the locker room, or people that work for this organization? Because I do. That's tampering, bro. You're not allowed to do that shit. You can't tank for a fucking player. And with everybody saying tank for Shador, tank for Shador, that shit looks horrible on this organization. And there might have came to a point where they were like, fuck it, we have to win, or we might just have this draft pick stripped from us. They can literally strip that draft pick. So who knows? I mean, there's a lot of shit we don't know. Maybe it came down from the top office and said, bro, we can no longer tank and we're going to have to go plan B. Hopefully they have a plan B and a plan C. Every general manager should. I got podcasting stuff on YouTube book since I wanted to be a podcaster, and NFL. I wanted to do Raiders and Sixers channel. Hell yeah. You're a Sixers fan? Nice. No, man, just watch some videos if you want to be a YouTuber. There's all kinds of videos on there. Merry Christmas, my guy Raider Ryan. Appreciate you. Rebel, any advice on when to start a podcast on YouTube? Reason being, I like stuff and books. Help me out. Just want your opinion. How old are you? 13, you said? I don't know how old you got to be to start a podcast on YouTube, but yeah, man, just read those books, watch some videos. Like you said, you got a topic you want to talk about the Raiders. Just do your homework. Know as much history about the Raiders as possible. And what else you say? The Sixers, and same thing with the Sixers, man. Just get as much information as possible, and watch a couple of your favorite content creators, and take bits and pieces from each one of your favorite content creators, and try to build your your own character and your own little brand, and go from there. But be passionate. If you're passionate about the Raiders and you're passionate about the Sixers, then it shouldn't be a problem. Is there any better? What else? I want AP to come back. Has us playing hard. Yeah, this team has no quit and no give up. And you can totally tell with Dick Daniels as a coach that, they locked it in, bro. They weren't playing for this guy. They were not battling for him. and they're still battling for Antonio Pierce. And like I was saying, you have to look at repercussions. And I'll catch up to the chat in a minute because I can ramble and you guys can text fucking way faster than I can talk. But or maybe not faster than I can talk. But there are repercussions. Like this team, like I said before, this team likes Antonio Pierce. They love Rob Ryan. Like they love these guys in the locker room. If you take that away, how many guys are we already know Max Crosby was pissed. He wanted AP to be the coach. And how long does it take him to gel? How long does it take them before they bite into a new system? Because guys are going to be like that. It just so happened with this time. I mean, look when Josh McDaniels took over. He was here what, a year and a half, almost 2 years. They never bought into what he was, they never bought into what he was putting down. Nobody was picking that shit up. They were totally against it. There was a couple, 7 or 8 games, we lost in the fourth quarter, games that we were leading in the fourth quarter that we should have won, that we should have never lost. And that's just because nobody was playing hard. They weren't bought into the system. And if you bring in a head coach that is like another, Dick Daniels, and nobody likes the guy, or he doesn't know how to communicate with guy or talk to people, it's going to be the same old shit. Then what? Then you're back on round 2. Now you fired Antonio Pierce. You don't know what he has. You probably don't know what Aiden O'Connell has because you're probably going with a whole nother quarterback, probably drafting one or, getting one in free agency. So it's just a big vicious circle. Like you have to have a guy in place that already knows his staff that's going to come in before you go fire a guy. You can't just go firing guys year after year after year. The longest head coach we've ever had in the Raiders history is 10 years. John John what? Fucking John Madden is the longest reigning coach in the history of the Raiders organization. 10 years. You know who's closest? Tom Flores, 8 years. You know who's closest to that? I think it's John Gruden with 3 years. John Gruden with 3 years. That is the next longest reigning head coach for the Raiders organization. So our coaches go from 10 years to 8 years to 3 years, and then everybody else is a year and a half to 2 years. There's a couple guys tied for 3 years. You can't have an organization like that. That's why we have been shit for the last 20, 25 years, because we don't stick with a head coach. We don't know what they're going to be. We don't stick with players. The only guys we stuck with was Derek Carr at quarterback, but we don't stick with players. We don't stick with coaches. We get guys that start to develop and then you trade them away for, a draft pick to start all over again. Like there's guys, I mean, I don't know. You can't just keep starting over. That shit, we have to see what this guy has, what he can do, because everybody was bought in. Like you said, you were good with AP, right? You were good with Antonio Pierce until he started running his mouth and, saying shit and lying, which he did lie a lot. But this is football. It's like politics. You're like a politician. You're going to fucking lie. You can't sit there and tell guys, hey, this team sucks. We don't have a running back. I hired the wrong fucking offensive coordinator and we're going to be shit till the end of the year. No. You come out and say, well, this and this, like, and you try to be, fucking make best with what you got. But everybody knows he made the wrong mistake at quarterback. Like this team would be a way different record with Aiden O'Connell. And I don't care if people say bullshit, whatever. He's already shown. He's shown last year. He's shown this year. He could be that guy. You could be a bridge quarterback if you had a running game, but we don't. We have no running game. We can try and steal Jeff from the Eagles. Jeff who? I don't know why it don't let me pull these up here. All right, go away. Fuck, go away. They better keep Philbon as his O-line coach. Should have been a while ago. I mean, yeah, I thought he was the head coach to start off in the beginning, but obviously he was not. And he was just a offensive head assistant or whatever the fuck his label was. Oh my god, this is killing my nose, dude. Ah, um, but yeah, when they made him offensive line coach, like, dude, he's been a good offensive line coach everywhere he's went. Even in college, he's had, great offensive linemen. He's turned tight ends into Pro Bowl caliber, all pro offensive linemen. So Joe Philbon is the shit. And that's not going to happen. Joe Philbon's not going to be here. I guarantee you, Patrick Graham's probably going to be out the door. They're going to clean house. If you bring in another head coach, he's going to be like, no, I want my defensive coordinator. I want my offensive staff. And we're probably getting rid of Rob Ryan. We're probably getting rid of Robbie Leonard, one of the best defensive line coaches in football right now. What he's done with this young defensive line with the injuries we've had is just absolutely crazy. Like, he's building these guys like they're coming out of a fucking shop. Like, I don't know how, but man, Caleb Von Chasen, look, it was doing nothing. Was first round draft pick, doing shit. And the team we just beat from Jacksonville, which don't have a lot of a lot of solid defensive players, they let him go. He goes to the Carolina Panthers, one of the worst teams in football, and they cut him. He comes to the Raiders, and the man is balling the fuck out. 2.5 sacks, should have had 2 interceptions. He's getting like 3 or 4 pressures per game. PFF grades are pretty damn high for a guy who people had, counted out and was washed up. So Robbie Leonard is killing it. Jonah Lalu, just look what that man is doing. Adam Butler, like, bro. And if you go get a new head coach, all these guys are gone, dude. I'm telling you, all these guys that are helping right now are down the road, and you're bringing all new guys that's going to have to start over with this young ass group. Do you really want to keep having these young guys, turn over coaches, turn over coaches, turn over coaches? Because you listen to the young guys talk, like JPJ, the running backs, the defensive line guys, our young corners, DeCamerion Richardson or DeCamerion Richardson, however you say it. Listen to those guys talk. They praise the shit out of their coaches. And yes, everybody's probably have to praise the shit out of their coaches. But not if you don't like the guy, you're not going to sit up there and lie and be like, oh yeah, this guy's great and my game's getting better and better because of him. Like, no. So yeah, for as many rookies and young, second and third year players that we have playing that are developing, on the daily, is just an attribute to this staff. I think Phil Bonds did a great job. I think Ricky Manning Jr. I think Ricky Manning Jr.'s done a hell of a job. Jacorian Bennett is, 10 times better this year than he was last year. Yes, last year he was a rookie, but man, the kid has been killing it. DeCamerion Richardson, same thing. Come in, thrown into a fire. He missed the first 8 weeks with a hamstring. He wasn't even out there practicing. And this man is out there playing like he's been in the league for a couple years now. So look, we're developing guys, except for the running the running game, which I don't know what to say about that shit, but except for our run game, this staff is developing players. And even our, young receivers, just look what they're doing with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers leads NFL right now in catches and not in touchdowns, and catches and yards, and yak yards, everything. And he's about to break the tight end record for most catches by Mike Ditka in only 14 games. Yes, I understand that. But he's about to break a record that stood for what, 40 years now? 50 years? How long has it been since Mike Ditka broke that record? Somebody let me know in the chat. But bro, Brock Bowers is about to break that record. That's an attribute to this staff, bro. To this staff. The fuck, I can't think of his name right now. But our tight end coach is, bro, killing it with these guys. Michael Mayer, Shorter they brought in, just steps right in, starts playing in the system. This staff is killing it, dude, and they've done a damn good job at bringing these guys along. Hope we keep Butler. They need to try get the O line together, continue to build camaraderie and chemistry. Again, less change is better for chemistry on our line is together. But you're trying to bring in a whole new coach. If you bring in a whole new coach, you don't think he's going to get rid of Rob Leonard. You don't think he's going to get rid of some of these defensive guys. That's why they hired AP. I guarantee you, because Jim Harbaugh was like, "Bro, I'm coming in, but Patrick Graham is going. Robbie Leonard is going. All these guys are going. Like we're clearing house on this staff. I guarantee you, he was bringing in a whole new staff, and that's one of the reasons he's not here." James Williams, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you pulling up. Shane Butler, also to you. I didn't say shit when you pulled in. Appreciate it. But yeah, man, these guys are killing it, dude. We have the sixth youngest team in the NFL right now, the sixth youngest team in the NFL, and we have the youngest starting rotation in the NFL right now. There's nobody starting younger guys than us. Nobody. And they're still playing the way we are, even with the stupid penalties and the turnovers. We've seen what we can do playing turnover-free ball, right? Yes, it was against the Jaguars, but come on, man. Take away the turnovers in a lot of these games, and it's a totally different season. Amy Garza, what's good? Merry Christmas and Raider Nation. What? Our New Year's resolution. Stable coaching staff. That's a good one. I like it. Best player available on draft day. Dylan Gabriel. No, I can't do that. Is my third best. What is my third best in the draft? The battle with AOC, Cut White, James, and Minshew. Um, James is under contract, so it'd be smart, to trade him away and get whatever we could from Andre James. Like I said, there's the Texans. There's a lot of teams above us in the draft that we could use, and I would throw Colton Miller in there in a trade and definitely cut Zamir White. I don't think he's worth maybe on a rookie contract. You might keep him around, see if we go to a power scheme or even a power zone scheme, and see if that helps him because he did a hell of a lot better in a power scheme. If you're talking about Zamir White, Gardner Minshew, yeah, he's done, bro. He ain't coming back. There's no way they're getting rid of that fool. I'm sure they love winning a lot of that staff, but they'll love winning more. What? What are you talking about, Willis? Oh shit! Fuck! I went too far. I need to start starring these. I don't have no star on this one. This sucks. Um, they need to make sure they get good OC and DC for us to be the best again. AP is fine. I think AP can pull it out. Like his game management, you have to admit, like the man or hate the man, his game management in the last couple games has been a little bit better. He used his timeout at the right decisions. I thought the challenge of the K. Levon chasing, where he tipped the fucking ball, he caught it, he tucked it, he took 3 steps, and it was a fumble. And they said it wasn't a damn fumble. I thought that was a good challenge. I thought it was a good challenge. It was in the first half. It lost us a fucking timeout, but it was a good challenge. And, I'd have been pissed if he didn't challenge it. I thought it was a catch. In the past, the dude probably, probably wouldn't have challenged something like that. Would have been, done some stupid shit. But please do not lump AP with those football minds. What football minds? The coaching staff that he hired? What are you talking about? Let's be honest. People hate AP for no reason. He is the what? He is the best for the team. If he gets fired, we're in a fucking dumpster fire. And we have to force Mark Davis to sell the team. Shane, I don't think it's going to be drastically that bad if we fire Antonio Pierce. Like it might be better if you go get Mike LaFleur. But like I said, there's with all the shit going on, with this team, No head coach or no, young coordinator is going to say, that's a team I want to go to. For one, we have no stability. I just said our average coaching life for a coach is 1.5 years. Ben Johnson said he would go to a team if they pursued him if he got a long term contract. The Raiders don't seem like they're willing to do that. The last long term contract they signed was $100 million, $10 million a season for John Gruden, 10 years. He was here 3. They had to fire him. Dick Daniels, 10 years. He was here a year and a half. They had to fire him. So coaches are going to see that. Guys are going to see that. They're not going to be willing to leave the spot that they're in, to risk their future, to risk their career, to risk being able to put food on their kids' table because they try to take a job for the Las Vegas Raiders and it doesn't work out in year 1 and you're down the road, or it doesn't work out in the first year and a half and you're fired and down the road, because this is the most impatient fan base and franchise in the history of the NFL. And if you don't believe me, just go Google the lowest coaching's life tendency in the NFL. It is the Las Vegas Raiders franchise, or the Raiders franchise. We do not keep coaches. We get rid of coaches faster than any team in the NFL. It's a flip through a year and a half, and you can't win like that. That is why we are shit. That's why we will continue to be shit, and we will not be nothing until we decide to go with the head coach. Now, if you go with the head coach for 3 years and it doesn't work, that's great. But at least that head coach is building something for that 3 years. You're not coming in and taking over half of what Dick Daniels built in a year and a half, right? Because he was getting there. He just needed more pieces on the offensive line. He had the running back, he had the quarterback. He let the quarterback go, but he was building something, right? He was starting to build something, because a lot of those pieces that they were putting together with Josh McDaniels and John Gruden's staff are still on this roster. So, and the guys that AP put together with Tom Telesco are going to be on this roster for a long fucking time, a long, long time. JPJ's not going nowhere. DJ Glaze not going nowhere. Brock Bowers not going nowhere. One thing that will stay with Antonio Pierce as head coach for a long, long, long fucking time for the history of the Raiders is they drafted Brock Bowers, bro. And it might not be all Tom Telesco. It might not have been all Antonio Pierce. It might have been Antonio Pierce saying, hey, let's go get this kid. Maybe Tom Telesco didn't want Brock Bowers. We'll never know, right? But he will have in his legacy drafting JPJ, who will be a cornerstone lineman for many, many years to come in this franchise. Brock Bowers, who will be the tight end for many, many, many moons to come in this franchise. And DJ Glaze, and probably DeCamarion Richardson. Those dudes are going to be cornerstones of this franchise for a long time. Dylan Labe is probably going to be here and not go nowhere if they ever give him reps and he can show what he can do. Amari Gaynor, like, there were some people drafted in this draft, and I guarantee you Amari Gaynor and these linebackers that they drafted, Tommy Eichenberg, were AP's draft picks, bro. These were AP guys, I'm telling you. The offensive linemen were not Tom Telesco guys. Those were Philbon. Those were Philbon. Joe Philbon saying, this dude, this dude, this dude. Just go back and look at Tom Telesco's draft and his linemen that he's got, bro. What else we got? Me LOL. I don't know what that is. What else we got? Sorry, kid. No one hates AP, but we don't have patience for bullshit. I mean, that's why we suck, though, Luda. That's why we suck, bro, because we don't have patience. Whether it's bullshit, we don't know, because we don't give anybody long enough to show, what they're trying to develop is working. Like, we don't know. A half a season is not showing. To me, last year doesn't count because most of that staff was fired. Most of that staff that Dick Daniels brought in got let go. AP kept a couple of those guys, but he brought in a whole new staff. So really, his coaching tenure only starts with the staff he brought in, and it wasn't very good to get from the get, right? From the jump, it sucked ass. So his success solely depends on the coordinators. Well, yes, because he doesn't do anything. He's a fucking head coach. His job as a head coach is to make sure players are ready, make sure players are buying what he's putting down, you know, picking up what he's putting down in his system. That's his job. That's what most head coaches do. Unless you're a defensive minded head coach, then you probably run the defense and you call defensive plays. Or you have a defensive coordinator, but you still call the defensive plays. If you're an offensive minded coach, you have an offensive coordinator, but you still call the plays. Or you might not even have an offensive coordinator. You might have an offensive assistant, and you might be the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Antonio Pierce is none of those. We knew that when we hired him. Nobody should be pissed off about that. Nobody should be mad that he's not calling plays on defense or calling plays on offense, because we knew he was inexperienced and he's never done called plays on defense. He's never even been a defensive coordinator. He's never been an offensive coordinator. The best he's been in the NFL is a linebacker coach. In college, same thing, linebacker coach. Was never a coordinator. So he doesn't have coordinator skills. We knew that. Mark Davis knew that when he hired him. Antonio Pierce said his very first day, Mark Davis told him, I do not need you to be an X's and O's guy. I need you to be a leader of men. And that's what he's doing. These guys are still fighting for him. They're still going to battle every single day with a shitty record, 10 losses. And for anybody to say it was stupid to win a game, how do you get your rookies like Jackson Powers Johnson, who lost maybe 4 games in his whole entire collegiate career? Brock Bowers, who didn't lose any games, I don't think. Weren't they undefeated the whole 3 years he was there? These guys do not know what it's like to lose. How can you get 2 of your best players in the draft and 2 of your best guys on the offense to bite into what your coach is putting down if you don't win games, bro? You have to win games to show them, hey, look, what we're trying to do is working. But if you ain't winning no games and you're on a 10-game losing streak, you're going to ruin these rookies, dude. They're going to be totally like, bro, this shit ain't working. This coach sucks. He's ass. But they're not. They've been like, oh, AP is great. You know, they love all these guys. So the fact that they're still battling, to me, says a lot, bro. It says a lot. Been rebuilding for like 20 years. Rick Wolf, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you. Oh, fuck, I went too far again. I suck at this. Like Luda said, watching me trying to navigate through my fucking live stream is watching AP coach. I'll never forget that, Luda. That was bullshit. I'm just speaking on what I see. And it's a lot of people saying AP sucks and he thinks it's going to get better. He coached a good game last week, and to me, he's getting better and he'll be good in 2025. Yeah, I think he gets better as it goes on. But again, like, he's got a game manager. He has a guy in his ear. Like, he has a headset with a little headpiece that Mark Davis pays the guy that's been in these positions before, that's supposed to be like one of the best game managers, who obviously sucks ass. Or maybe Antonio Pierce is not listening to what the guy has to say. But it's not all Antonio Pierce. There's somebody saying, these are the statistics. If you go for it on 4th down, these are the odds. If you kick it here, these are the odds. And Antonio Pierce would be like, okay, what do you think? And the dude says this. And Antonio Pierce says, all right, let's go with that. Or maybe there's been times where Antonio Pierce said, all right, I believe what you got to say, but I don't like what you have to say. I'm going with my decision. And maybe he made the wrong decision. Maybe he made the right decision. We will never know. But it's not all Antonio Pierce. Give me a year with no headset and let Antonio Pierce call his own games. Let him coach his own games. Let's see how it goes. Because obviously, with whoever is in his ear, is not worked this year. It's been dumb coaching decisions. And if you're paying a guy to be a fucking game manager in your head coach's ear, and he's telling him shit that's not working, to me, you're setting him up for failure. So Antonio Pierce needs to either, be like, all right, I'm listening to this dude, but I can read lips and I see constantly Antonio Pierce saying, fuck that. No, bullshit. Like, he's not happy with whatever they're saying in his ear. He's arguing with somebody upstairs. Like, so, and you don't have a lot of time, right? You only have a 24-second clock. So you don't have time to sit there and say, all right, what's every analytics? What's every stat? Like, this guy says what he thinks. And Antonio Pierce is constantly, you can see he's not happy, bro. The dude's rolling his eyes. He's looking up in the sky. He's not liking what's going on. So I can't put it all on Antonio Pierce at all. Uh, no Rob Leonard will be fine. He's not going anywhere. A good coach will know you don't fix what's not broken. What do you mean, no Rob Leonard? He's going somewhere. He's going somewhere. If they bring in a new coach, he's probably going somewhere. He needs to go somewhere. He needs to be a damn defensive coordinator, in my opinion. Like, I like PG, man, but how many times are we gonna, go with Patrick Graham where he doesn't get hot till the end of the season? This is the second year in a row where we thought Antonio Pierce unleashed the handcuffs, and that's why uh Patrick Graham's defense was so good last year. But what's the excuse this year, the beginning of the year, before guys got hurt and shit? We were giving up the worst amount of yards and touchdowns on the ground. We were giving up the worst, the most passing yards in the NFL. And now, with a bunch of young guys that are depth pieces that everybody says we don't have, this defense is killing it again towards the end of the year. So, I mean, how long do you keep going with that guy? You go with Patrick Graham another year? Or do you say, shit, let's promote Robbie Leonard. Let's see what Robbie Leonard's got. He does so damn good with the defensive line. Maybe he got something up his sleeve. I don't know. Rebel, I think it's simple. If we get rid of AP, then Max will ask out. I don't think Max is going to ask out. I think that was just a ploy for last year. Him and Devontae saying that shit, and Robert Spillane also. Look, these guys love Antonio Pierce. Robert Spillane mostly. Robert Spillane and Antonio Pierce are very, very close. They're both undrafted free agents in the NFL. They're both Mike linebackers. They're both tough. They're both gritty. Robert Spillane really likes Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce believed in Robert Spillane and took a shot on him when nobody would, right? The Steelers let him go. They didn't have faith in him. Nobody else signed him. Antonio Pierce said, bring me that dude. I can make this dude special. And he has. Robert Spillane wasn't Robert Spillane before he came to the Raiders, bro. Go back and watch film on that guy. Go look at his tape. He did not play with the Steelers like he plays for us. That's Antonio Pierce. Who deserves to be re-signed? Morag Spillane for sure. Who else would I keep? I don't have the list of free agents. Maybe we'll do that for the next show tomorrow. I'll get a list and I'll break it all down. I've been on here 2 hours. Sorry, I'm not in the mood to try to go through all that shit. But I do know I would keep everybody in-house, right? I think Tom Telesco's a huge, huge fan of homegrown talent. And by homegrown talent, I mean they don't have to be grown in Vegas. By homegrown talent, I mean drafted by the Raiders. So, I think that might mean we're keeping Colton Miller for a while until he's ready to go and retire. I don't know, depending on how good he plays. But Trayvon Morrig, homegrown talent. Uh, Nate Hobbs is a free agent, homegrown talent. I'm bringing him back. Adam Butler, did they resign him just for 1 year? I thought he resigned for 2 years. If he's not, if Adam Butler's a free agent, I'm bringing Adam Butler back. Spillane, you know, who else? I'm trying to think of who else is a free agent. I don't know who else is free. Oh, Marcus Epps is a free agent. I don't see us bringing him back because Palomau has played so damn good. I don't see us bringing Marcus Epps back. But on the other hand, Patrick Graham and Antonio Pierce really, really love Marcus Epps. They praise that guy. They still talk about him every week when he's been, out for the season for what, 6, 7 weeks now, 8, 9, 10 weeks now. He's been out of the season for a long time. So yeah, he's been hurt for a while. But they talk a lot, very highly of him. But I think, Marcus Epps being here is gonna limit, you know, the growth of Trey Taylor. And I think Trey Taylor is one of those guys that could be one of those guys, if you know what I mean. Like Trey Taylor's a stud, dude. That guy's, built like a brick shit house. He's fast. He's one of the best tacklers on the team. Why he hasn't got out there, I don't know. I see us running a whole lot of 5 DB packages where we got Harper out there and Kelly Blue or whatever the flip his name is. I don't know why Trey Taylor's out there. I don't know why he's not out there, in the slot, covering some of these slot guys. Put him in down in the box, let him blitz a couple times. But why he's not getting any reps is just another Antonio Pierce thing. Um, yeah, there's a couple guys that I would keep. Like I said, I don't have that exact list. Um, I think quarterback coach Josh McCown's from Minnesota might be a good OC. Yeah, I've talked about that a couple times on this show. I'm a big fan of Josh McCown. We all know he used to be a Raider. You know, once a Raider, always a Raider, right? Keep it in the house. Bring the man back, and especially if you're trying to develop a young quarterback, or even keep developing Aiden O'Connell. I mean, Josh McCown did. He's done wonders. You know, uh, with whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know why I can't think what his name is. He's done wonders in Minnesota with a quarterback that everybody said, was done and washed up in Sam Darnold. The preseason, JJ McCarthy looked fucking amazing to me. Like that kid come out just firing on all cylinders. He knew the system. I think Josh McCown is a damn good coach and would be a damn good, great candidate for offensive coordinator. If you keep Antonio Pierce and, Scott Turner does decide to move on. But I think what Scott Turner and Norv Turner have done with this offense has really helped Brock Bowers. It's really helped this offensive line. It's really helped a lot. So, like I said, I would not be upset about keeping this coaching staff. I would like to see another offensive coordinator, but you know how that shit goes. NGL Mark Davis is the problem. We need what? We need to make him sell the team if we want Mark Cuban to buy us. What? He will make us winners. Yeah, I don't think we're selling the team to Mark Cuban. I don't really want to see this team sold to anybody. This team has been owned by one family and one family only. That is the Davis family. And to see it owned by somebody else would just kill me, bro. Like Al Davis built this team from the ground up. He is the innovator of the AOC, of Raider Nation, of what it means to be a rebel, which is why my name is Raider Rebel. Like, bro, I don't want to see this team ever in anybody else's hands. Mark Davis has done a damn good job. Now, he hasn't done a good job with personnel, but he doesn't control that. How many times does Mark Davis have to say, I'm not involved in that shit? I hire these guys to do a job and I give them full reign to do their job. Now, when they don't do their job, they get fired real quick. Like he ain't fucking around. He's like Donald Trump. Like you will be cut very damn quick. Like so, I think Mark Davis has done a damn good job. I think this team was in the dumps. There was a reason for the last 25, 30 years we've been absolutely shit. We couldn't afford anybody. Now, if you go back and look through whatever records you want to look through, Amy Trask has said a bunch of times Al Davis told her to sell the team, bro. This team was going to be sold. It was so bad financially. We couldn't afford to play. People bitched year after year after year after year. Like,
Why didn't we sign this guy in free agency? Why didn't we sign this guy in free agency? We should have got this guy. We should have got this guy. We should have got this guy.
No, we couldn't afford those fucking guys. We got the guys we got in free agency because that's who we could afford, and we could barely afford those. Like this was a very, very, very falling in the dumps franchise. And Mark Davis is a businessman. He took over. He made business decision after business decision after business decision, and he is worth 100,000 times more than his father was ever worth. And this franchise is worth 100,000 times more than it's ever been worth. When Al Davis ran the team. So Mark Davis is doing the right thing. He's starting to learn. You know, he don't know guys. He doesn't know the NFL. His daddy did the wrong thing by not having him, involved in this shit and meeting guys and talking to other people and other owners. So you could be like, hey, who's a good coordinator? Who's a good fucking general manager? Like he has nobody to know. He don't know this shit. And the people that he's talking to obviously aren't directing him in the right way, because the decisions he's made is basically hire a head coach, hire a general manager, and let them do what they do. Like he gets out of the way. So people want to blame Mark Davis over and over again and say he's the reason why we suck. No, he's made decisions, bad decisions, with guys that he thought would help this team. And, bringing Gruden back for the second time didn't work out the greatest. Uh, bringing in Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels was not the great decision, because you gave Josh McDaniels all the say when Dave Ziegler was way smarter than Josh McDaniels. And if we would have listened to Dave Ziegler, this team would be in the playoffs this year and last year. So no, I'm not hating on Mark. I don't think he should sell the team. Um, Max needs to worry who the head coach is, because that's the main leader of the team. If Max don't like him, he won't buy in. I think Max really don't have to buy in, because like Max isn't really part of the fuck is in my eye, dude. Max isn't really part of the defense, like buying in, right? I think Max does his own shit. I think he's there in practice. I think he knows the system. I think he knows what's done. But if you watch Max Crosby, he's all over the defense, and I think he's on his own playbook. He's on his own page, and he does what he wants. So I think he's going to play 110%, whatever, because that's just the kind of person Max is. But I don't think he's going to be happy, right? I don't think he's going to be happy. I think he's already irritated with this franchise. He's irritated the way the season went. I'm sure he's irritated as fuck that he's, injured and can't play the last couple games. I'm sure he's not happy. And I'm sure he's in Mark Davis's ear telling him he's not happy. I guarantee you. I'm sure they would I'm sure they would expect to lose for one season and wash out the quarterback and win games next season, laughing my ass off. Now we took 5 steps back, winning a game that doesn't matter. How do we take 5 steps back? Do y'all use feelings over logic? Who is y'all, for one? I mean, bro, you're using feelings over logic, because you're saying by not having the number one pick, we set our franchise back 5 years or whatever, took 5 steps back. How is that even possible? We have a quarterback that's pretty decent. And again, nobody knows what we have in Aiden O'Connell, because we haven't seen him really play that much this year. But the games he has played in, he looked damn good. When he played last year, he looked damn good. So we have that going. We also have Carter Bradley, who really looked pretty damn good in preseason. And if they didn't like what Carter Bradley had to offer, he would not still be on the practice squad. That kid is mobile. He has a rocket arm. I think he could throw a shit like 60, 70 yards down the field. So just because your vision of what the Raiders should be, Shador Sanders or Cam Ward is the only quarterback in the NFL, does not mean the Raiders made the wrong decision. Just because you believe that Shador or Cam Ward was the only quarterbacks that are going to turn this franchise around does not believe the Raiders made the wrong decision, bro. Maybe they have a quarterback in mind. Maybe they thought Shador or Cam Ward was not worth the number one pick. Maybe they were like, okay, the upside for either one of these guys are not what we're looking for to draft number one or number two. Maybe instead of setting this and going 5 steps back, maybe they're taking us 5 steps forward by building for the future, by taking best player available and getting us the best players this draft has to offer for next year. And maybe they go get a quarterback the year after that. Maybe they have somebody they're eyeing that's not coming out of college yet. There's a lot of fucking reasons, but you can't sit here and say we're using feelings over logic and we're delusional because we won a game, bro. Our motto is just win, baby. It's not just tank, baby. It's just fucking win. And if you don't want to win, then get the fuck out of the nation, bro. Go root for another team that's losers because this team wants to win. Now, have we been able to? No. Were we tanking before? No. I've said it all year long. We just can't close out games. Mistakes kill us over and over and over again. You have to have 22 players, 11 on offense and 11 on defense that know what the fuck they're doing, that know how to run the shit without mistakes, constantly, consistently, and we haven't done that. Turnovers have killed us. That is the main reason we're the record we have. Go back. I keep saying it over and over again. I feel like a fucking broken record, but bro, all of our losses are because turnovers. That turnover, mostly 90% of them were Garner Minshew. Clock management has helped, but I don't think it lost us games. I think maybe one or two games could have went either way. You can't say, okay, because you didn't call that timeout or because we didn't have a okay, there was two games that we didn't have timeouts because they used them for stupid ass shit. But maybe at the time, AP thought it was a right time to use the timeout or whatever. Maybe they challenged. I don't know what happened, but I know there was a couple times where they called timeouts that cost us a game or two. Yes, clock management has been bad. But again, I talked about this shit. There's somebody in his ear. There's somebody telling him when to go for it, when to not go for it. No excuses. No excuses. Just facts. AP, what? AP has a problem processing information that a Pee Wee coach can analyze in real time. Like what information? What does he have in process problems processing? To me, blah, 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 blah. To me, all we do is set up head coaches for failure, no matter who it is. Hey, that's a fact coming from a young man. Constantly. Other than Ward and Sanders, what QB would you draft after the first round? Riley Leonard. I started out, go back and watch. Riley Leonard, Riley Leonard, Riley Leonard. I wouldn't even wait, you know, till more than the third round. If he was there in the second, I'd probably just pull the trigger and be like, fuck it, just to pull the trigger. But, we have 2 third-round picks. I think we're picking, third or fourth in the third round, and then we're picking last in the third round. So, bro, Riley Leonard, 100%. If Jalen Milroe comes out, you got to look at Jalen Milroe. But that's if you have, a bridge quarterback of the future for another year or two, or you think Aiden O'Connell could be that guy, or you're willing to see what Aiden O'Connell could do for a year or two, then you go get a guy like Milroe or a Jackson Dart that I believe, definitely has to sit for a year. I think Riley Leonard, would have to sit for a year, but he might be one of those guys that could come out and surprise some people. He learns very, very fast. He did it in Duke. He's done it in Notre Dame. And like I said, his draft stock is going to go up. I'm totally out on the Oregon quarterback, and maybe in the Senior Bowl if he comes out and plays or whatever. We will see what he has, but Dylan Gabriel at 6 foot just scares me. Um, I also like Curtis Rourke. I don't know if he's coming out, but I think that kid has a hell of an arm. There's a couple quarterbacks, and then there's a couple quarterbacks in this draft that you can look at. There's definitely quarterbacks in this draft. It don't have to be in the first round. But if it's not, then who are we taking in the first round? That's what I want to know. If AP is not back next year, then I blame the front office and their lack of compliance. I mean, if AP is not back next year, you can blame a lot of things, but I think mainly you would have to probably blame Tom Brady because if AP is not back next year, it's to me that Tom Brady says this is not the guy. Let's move on. Epps will most likely hit free agency. I mean, yeah, I believe so, but like I said, I think Tom Telesco has been big on him. It just depends on what money he is, but like I said, I think keeping him, takes spots away from Trey Taylor developing, and I really like what Isaiah Palomao's done, taking over that spot. So I like Epps, but he has to go. Then he has to go, right? Got to go, got to go. I mean, we made it this far without him the whole year. QB wins. USB's laughing my ass off. What? QB wins, you son of a bitch. Laughing my ass off. I'm not stacked 49ers team with 1 million QB could not win. What makes you think AOC will? Jesus. Why you got to use the Lord's name in vain on Christmas, bro? That's just rude. That's just rude. But what now? What the fuck you talking about? Quarterback wins, you son of a bitch. If a stacked 49ers team with a 1 million quarterback could not win, what makes you think AOC will win? Well, for one, Rick Wolf, you sound like you don't know shit about football, my guy, because the 49ers lost the best fucking running back, one of the best running backs in the NFL. They've had receiver after receiver hurt. They have the best right tackle in the entire NFL has been hurt all year long, injury after injury after injury. So fuck boy, don't come in here saying bullshit and calling me a son of a bitch when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The 49ers are losing because they have injuries. Wow. Imagine that. Antonio Pierce and the fucking Raiders have injuries also. Like, bro, come on. Come here talking that bullshit. I'm on the side of hate, screw tank. I want to win, wanting to lose is not in my DNA. Bro, nobody should be fucking wanting to lose. Tanking is in nobody's DNA unless you're a bitch. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. I am taking it easy. I'm just saying, come in here calling me a bastard or son of a bitch. You don't fucking know me. The hell. Uh he is taking Super Bowls, brother. What? Yeah, bro. Like, come on, man. The 49ers are struggling, dude. They're struggling because of injuries. Like, it has nothing to do with their quarterback. Their quarterback took them to the Super Bowl last year. He beat out Jimmy G. He got Trey Lance traded, like, who was a first round pick, fucking that they moved up to get. Come on, man. Crazy as hell. SB equals Super Bowls. Oh, well, whatever. QBs win Super Bowls, whatever, same thing, but still, you know what I'm saying. QBs don't win Super Bowls. I thought defenses win Super Bowls. If QBs won Super Bowls, how come Joe Burrow is not wearing a ring right now? Answer me that, Jeffrey. If quarterbacks win Super Bowls, how come Joe Burrow don't have a ring on? You know why? Because he ain't had no defense. Hmm. Let that sink in. I'm just playing, but for real though, Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl, right? Did they win the Super Bowl? They didn't win that Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl. So, yeah, Shane, stay in school. Stay in school. It might benefit you, or it might make people laugh because you can't fucking read. Oh shit, it's hot as fucking here. We all know defense wins championships. No, it's quarterbacks. It's quarterbacks by themselves. They carry the whole team. They run the ball. They catch the ball. they block. It's all quarterbacks. You got to have a quarterback to win Super Bowls. Just ask the Tampa Bay Bucks that beat us with Brad Johnson because they had the greatest quarterback in the history. Just ask the 2000 Ravens that had Trent Dilfer because he was the best quarterback in history, right? They didn't win that Super Bowl because of a quarterback. They won that Super Bowl because they had a bomb fucking defense nobody could score on, and they had a running game. But the quarterback did not turn the ball over. That's how you win Super Bowls. So it's a team sport, bro. Yes, you need a quarterback, but I guarantee you can win with not a great quarterback. Like Sam Darnold has been ass his whole career. His whole career. He goes to a team that has, pretty good defense, a great receiver, a running game, and all of a sudden, this man's in the playoffs and looking like fucking Joe Montana. Like, so yeah, you can win with the Aiden O'Connell, bro. You can win with the Aiden O'Connell if you give him an offensive line that he don't have to run and scramble all the time, and you give him at least 3-4 seconds per play. Aiden O'Connell will pick guys apart. You give him a running game where you can run play action, where you can run a couple read options. I'm not saying that he's going to run the ball, but he showed last week, and I think that's why we won that game. He came right out the bat and took off running like on the second or third play. My man ran for a first down, but it got called back. And I think that right there screwed up the whole Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Like they were like, "Oh shit, what do we do now? When's he going to run? Is he going to run again?" They haven't seen that all year. They were not prepared for that. So that just brought another aspect to the game, to Aiden O'Connell's game, that the defense was not prepared for. And I apologize to my guy Rick Wolf, but I can't fucking read. I'm sorry. But anyway, Aiden O'Connell, yeah, you can win games with quarterbacks that aren't the greatest, man. Not every team in the playoffs has a first round drafted quarterback. No, brother, I was saying the dude was not calling. Oh, I know. I got you. I got you. I'm just dumb. I can't read. I appreciate it, Jeffrey. I was wrong. I snapped for no reason. I feel like we get Justin Fields and then draft Ashton. It would be so much better. Look, I love Ashton Genty, but the only way you draft an Ashton Genty is if you're the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs or, you know, maybe the Bengals. Why? Because they already have the quarterback. They already kind of have the offensive line. And they kind of need to just work on defense. But those guys, those teams really need a solid running game. Now the Bills and Cook has been cooking a little bit. I think the Bengals running back, he's been balling out this year. They just don't have no defense, bro. They can't get no defense going. But I really like Ashton Genty. I don't know if he's, a first round pick just because, he's kind of one of those straightforward guys. Now, his run after the catch is great. He has more runs, more yards, after contact than most backs in college football have this year. He's special, bro. He's one of those guys that don't come out every year. And if we win a game against the Saints and we fall to 8 or 10 or wherever we're projected to fall, I would take him. I would probably take him at 6. People are going to be pissed, but there's a lot of running backs. There's a lot of running backs in this draft. So to me, if you take him in the first round, it's a reach because um and we'll get the season's almost over, bro. 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks. We'll get into the draft. We will start breaking down all these players, running backs, all of them. But there's a lot of running backs, and I think the running back, room is going to explode. I think there's probably one guy, Ashton Genty, that'll go in the first round. Um, I think there's maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 that might go in the second round, and I think the third round is just going to explode. Probably third or fourth round is going to explode with running backs. But man, there are so many running backs, and I don't know. Like I said, you got 3 more days until these guys declare, whether they're coming out or staying in school. So in 3 more days, we'll know. But there's so many good running backs in this draft that taking one in the first round would be absolutely wild. Even if it is Ashton Genty, and even if it is, does have the chance to be the next, Barry Sanders type running back. But Tom Telesco taking best player available. I don't know if he's swinging for the fences like that, but dude, Ashton Genty's a freak of nature. Like he don't come around every 10 years, not even every 20 years. Guys like that probably are every 15, 20-year guy. Like they don't come around very often. So when you have a chance, you know, and you're a quarterback needy team that wins a game and slips down the draft and you can't get the quarterback you need, that's probably a good piece to start with. And people are going to say I'm crazy because you don't, like I said, you don't really draft running backs in the first round, usually not even the second round, because there's so many running backs and people just say they're a dime a dozen, but they don't come out like this kid. So it just depends on who's on the board. If somebody takes a tackle before us, I don't know. I think maybe we can get tackles in free agency. Like I said, I haven't broke all that shit down yet. I don't know who's a free agent, offensive, guards or tackles, but I love Ashton Genty. I think that kid is definitely going to be special. Just the size of his legs, the way he breaks tackles. Um, he's just a mismatch for so many linebackers. Safeties are just hard. Not they can be insane trying to tackle him. So I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. But I suggest it probably not. Like I said, because there's guys that are faster, that have are way more wiggly. Um, they're just probably not as elusive. They have better vision. I'm not saying he don't have great vision. Obviously, he does, or he wouldn't have the yardage he does. But yeah, Ashton Genty is just one of those dudes, and I wouldn't be mad at that pick at all. Uh, Run a lot of RPO and add one more wide receiver. True, we have a couple wide receivers too that just ain't getting no looks. I like that kid from Tennessee. Fuck is his name? Ramel Keaton out of Tennessee, 6'2", runs fucking 6'4" 40s. These guys are dogs, right? Ashton Genty screams Raiders pick. See, Cowtown Luda's down with it. Thank you. We don't need a Sanders at number one. Our defense is healthy and good. Yeah. Yeah, bro. So I mean, I like Ashton Genty, but like I said, there's so many running backs. Let me click on this list real quick. See who's moved up. I think both the running backs out of Ohio State are staying. I really like the I don't even know, Amarian Hampton, however you say his last name. I really like that kid out of North Carolina, I do believe. Um, Caleb Johnson is another one, another good running back. They got out of Iowa. Let's see what this list says. So they have Ashton Genty, Amari and Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Dylan Sampson at a Tennessee. Wow. Okay. I did not know that dude ran a 4.35. So I like Dylan Sampson at Tennessee. He ran all over my Razorbacks when they played, but my Hogs were one of the only teams to beat Tennessee this year. Just had to throw that out there. Woo pig suey. Um, but yeah, Sampson is 5'11, but he runs a 4.3 540. So that's fucking lightning quick, bro. That's scary. That's scary fast for a running back. Um, and most of these running back nowadays, look at the dude's name, the dude in Miami right now. I can't think of fucking nobody's name, bro. Um, most of the running backs in the NFL. Go look at the last couple of draft picks. They're all like 5'9", 5'10", smaller guys, a little bit of weight on them with a whole bunch of speed. Um, Jordan James, I think, is another one of those fast guys, 4.4 speed. Um, Tavarion Henderson, I think he's staying in school, but like I said, there's a lot of running backs that you can get that I'd be good with any one of these guys. Quinston Judkins, another guy, 6 foot, runs a 4.49 Um, David O'Neal out of Kentucky. I really like this kid, bro. Little bowling ball, 5'11, runs a 4.540. Not the fastest. I would rather have an Ashton Genty, but in the first round, or take a David Neal in the fourth round. You know what I mean? Um, another guy I'm huge on. Penn State. Uh, the fuck Singleton. Can't think of his first name, but Singleton. That's another guy that I think he's only a sophomore. Maybe I'm pretty sure. Uh, let me see if I can find him on here. Where the fuck's he at? Oh, he's ninth. Nicholas Singleton. Yeah, out of Tennessee. So my man is 227, 6 foot, runs a 4.39 40. Now, I'm fucking with that all day, right? All day, twice on Sunday. I'm gonna fuck with that because that's quick speed, bro. That's quick speed. And 227, like you just coming to hurt people. you just you coming to hurt people that fast out of the backfield. And he has amazing hands. They line him up in the slot. They line him up as a number one receiver. Just watch Penn State. These guys, I mean, go back and watch some film on Penn State, bro. Nicholas Singleton is a dog. um, and that's pretty much, those are pretty much the top guys. But like I said, I think Singleton with his speed, Judkins, I think all these guys are probably third round, maybe even fourth for some of them. So it would kind of be, kind of not being a reach, but kind of being a reach because you know number one pick is very very valuable. But if that's the best player available, if you don't think any of these tackles or any of these guards are better than the guards we got, if you don't think any of these defensive ends or defensive tackles are better than the guards we got, then you definitely pull the trigger on an Ashton Genty. I mean, I don't know how you don't. The kid should have been Heisman Trophy, in my opinion. If it wasn't for the fact, Robert Benjamin, what's good, my guy? Um, I'm actually afraid of drafting a quarterback number one because of the time we draft quarterbacks at number one. Hey, everybody's right there on that same train, my guy. Like Hawaiian Candy, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, everybody's on that same train. You never know with the Raiders. And, you know, if you look at this staff, now I don't know how long these guys, I don't know if they came in with Dick Daniels or, I don't know how long our scouts have been on the team or where our scouts came from. How long they've been with the organization. They could be here 20 years. It could be the same scouts. I don't know if new teams bring in scouts. Like, scouts ain't something I really pay attention to. But if you look at the scouts that we had when Derek Carr was here, and um, what Cade Garbers or whatever, Chade Jarbers or whatever the hell, like, bro, just the quarterbacks that we drafted, thinking that they had a shot. Now, one of them is doing fine in the CFL or whatever. I think he took his team to the championships or some shit like that. He's doing pretty good, but the quarterbacks we've drafted, even the last couple years, the ones we had drafted have all been pretty bad. So I don't know about these scouts. I don't know, how these scouts are good at looking at quarterbacks. I know we did get Aiden O'Connell in the fourth round. Now, that was Dick Daniels guys and Dick Daniels scouts. And I don't know if the same scouts are here that were there, if they're the same scouts, but they did a pretty good job, in my opinion, in evaluating Aiden O'Connell and taking him at the fourth round. Because, in my opinion, this kid could be a starter with the right development in the right system with a running back, with a veteran receiver. I think this kid could shine. So it depends on, again, our scouts. Who are they looking at? From what I hear and my sources, which I don't have sources, but my sources say Dylan Gabriel. They've been at a lot of Dylan Gabriel games. They've been sending scouts to watch Dylan Gabriel. They also had all their scouts or a couple of their scouts at pretty much every Shador Sanders game in Colorado. They really liked that guy. And then they decided to win. So something threw them off of Shador. Or maybe they're just tricking everybody and they're going to throw fucking 3 first-round picks away and go get this guy and fucking make me hate this organization. Because that would be the stupidest thing ever, bro. If we had them in our grasp and we really, really throw picks away to go up and get one of these quarterbacks that we already had, I don't even know what the hell I'd do, bro. I don't know. Ashton is coming here. I know it is my prediction. I think he's like a better fit and more like of a Dallas Cowboy organization. I think he would do great there because they're known to develop running backs. The Raiders organization hasn't been a very good organization at developing quarterbacks, at developing running backs. I mean, we did decent with Josh Jacobs, but he was a first round pick, right? So we're not very good at developing. That's why I'm saying keep Antonio Pierce because this year we've been great at developing guys. We've never had so many rookies in a season start and play at such a high level ever. I wouldn't be mad, but I think there are other needs that we should prioritize. What, then Ashton Genty? Yeah, I'm down with that. Give O'Connell a big receiver and a running back, and he'll be much better. Oh, bro, he Aiden's fine with what we got, but yes, if we had, a 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" receiver, 200-pound guy, that can go up and high point these balls, kind of like the ones here Aiden was throwing off his back foot, on the flop, you know, reading off scripts, I think we'd be fine. But Aiden O'Connell is accurate. Aiden O'Connell is very, very fucking smart. He knows football. He's a brilliant. He loves football. He wants to win. He's competitive as hell. He's been through it. He's been eighth string on the depth chart and worked his way back up. This man knows football. He knows how to lead receivers. He knows how to read defenses. And if they would just give him a little bit more leadway and let him change plays at the line of scrimmage, which last game We seen him go up to the line of scrimmage, call some shit out, yelling at people. He knows what's going on, bro. This kid is very smart. Like I said, he's accurate. He's got a super strong arm. And people say he don't have a strong arm, but then again, they fucking complain because the man overthrows Trey Tucker all the time. How do you overthrow one of the fastest receivers on our team if you don't have a strong arm? It's not possible. You don't overthrow guys that are not fast. I mean, guys that are fast with a strong arm, let alone a not strong arm. So, dude, Aiden O'Connell can be the guy. I'm telling you. Now, is he a franchise quarterback? I don't know. Depends on what his upside is. He's already 26. How much better is he going to get? Can he continue to progress? Those are all questions that nobody knows because they didn't start him at the beginning of the year. But I think we could be just fine with Aiden O'Connell. I really want to see Justin Fields. He is my favorite. I was on the Justin Fields train last year. We could have traded Justin Fields for a sixth round pick in this year's draft, a fourth round pick. If he would have played longer. We didn't do it because of Luke Getsy. Another mistake by Antonio Pierce. Like if you go back, excuse me, if you go back, Antonio Pierce has made some historically bad fucking moves, some dumbass decisions. But he also has done pretty damn good in other aspects for being a first year coach, for hiring a guy that made you look like shit on offense that could never put up 24 points a game. I think what 2 games we put up over 20 points this year. So we need to bolster the O line and acquire depth. Our O line should be prioritized. So who are you moving on from? Or you just mean depth wise? Let me ask you this: Are you keeping Jordan Meredith and are you keeping Dylan Parham? Or are you moving on from those guys and keeping them as depth pieces and going and getting 2 guards in this draft? Because, like I said, if you're going to go get guards in this draft, bro, you definitely have to look at um, another guy, Campbell. Campbell from Alabama. Hold up. What's his name? Let me see if I can find this guy. Not Will Campbell, not that Campbell, not that Campbell. He's not on here. Cameron Williams. No. Texas has a guard, I believe, a guard named Campbell. That dude, I was watching this Texas game this last Saturday. That man was moving guys like they were fucking little tiny dudes standing still. Like he was pushing guys 15 yards upfield on run plays. Just crazy. Moving guys completely out of bounds. Like, man, this dude was a freak. But, you know, to me, a guard needs to be 300 pounds or more and, at least 6'4, 6'5, just because not too many people, not too many teams run 5 defensive linemen anymore. You don't see too many teams running a 5'3 or 5'2 like they used to in the past. So not too many teams have a need. That's all, folks. Not many teams have a need for a nose guard. Say that 3 times fast. So there's not too many one techniques. Most of it's 2 technique, 3 technique, 4 techniques. And most of those dudes, they're just getting bigger and bigger. These defensive line are, 320 pounds that run a 5.48 40 or a 5 flat 40. Like you have to be a big anchored, solid ass uh guard, in my opinion. I think 285, like Parham, just don't cut it for me. We are good O linemen. If not, then I don't want them. What? Yeah, there's a couple guys there's a couple linemen in this draft. Like I said, Tate Radledge, the guard from Georgia. The man is 6'6", 320 pounds. Now that's what a guard should look like, right? Just fucking freaking nature. He's got a 87.4 grade. He's the sixth best guard or tackle in this draft. And actually, he's the best guard in this draft because, well, rated because everybody above him has a tackle. So yeah, I mean, there's some guys in here. Um, oh, that's what not Campbell. Tyler Booker, bro. Tyler Booker from Alabama. This dog is a beast, bro. A beast. 325 pounds, 6'5". That's what we need as a guard, right? So if you go get one of these guards, with our bottom third pick, again, like we did last year, which I think, Booker might be in their second or third round, depending on team's needs. But if there's teams that need guards, he's probably not getting past the second round. But if he does, man, you got to scoop up on a guy like that. I think we don't really know. Like I said, we don't really know what's up with Dalton Wagner, how he's coming along. Nobody knows what's going on with D Wags. So, um, Dalton Wagner's 6'8", bro, 330 fucking pounds. This guy is a beast, but he's not really athletic and he didn't really fit the zone run scheme. But they kept him on the roster for a reason. Agreed on Genty. He's different. I like Scatterboo style too. He has good balance and runs mean. But we have a kid like that in Labe. I mean, Labe runs with that same fucking intensity, and they're almost the same size. I think Scatterboo's a little bit faster and probably a little bit meaner, but we already have a Dylan Labe. Like, I think a Dylan Labe was, on one of these schools like Arizona with the offensive line that they had, bro, he would have put up numbers like Scatterboo. But I really like Scatterboo. But I just think with this staff, you know, I don't know. I think AP has something against white boy running backs because I don't know how you fumble one time and never get another snap, but the other three running backs all have more than two fumbles, all of them. So yeah, I don't think that might be the right pick because dude, Dylan Labe should be getting reps. We have no running game. We have absolutely none, and you're not even going to put the kid in to see if he can help. Like, there's got to be something to that. I don't know what it is, but it's fucking annoying. So no, I don't know about Scatterboo, but I like the kid. I think he runs very very mean. He has that violent, ill intent, style that Antonio Pierce talks about it once. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be mad at it. We need guards and tackles on the O line. That's what I'm saying. But I think the tackle. I don't know. I think tackles. We might could use one tackle. I wouldn't be mad, like I said, at a Justin Simmons. Um, I think he's probably the best tackle in this draft. I think he was hurt at the beginning of the year, which if he gets healthy, but I'm tired of taking these taking guys that are hurt. Can't keep doing that shit and waiting for him to hopefully develop like a Tyree Wilson. We ain't got time for that shit. You like Judkins from Ohio State? Yeah, I like that kid too. He got a number one on his chest for a reason. That boy's a baller. Um, I think he will be a Hall of Famer one day. Who? Justin Fields or Ashton Genty? Ashton Genty? Oh yeah, that dude's a gold jacket. That dude's a gold. If he stays healthy and gets on the right system. Remember McFadden, great player but struggled to stay healthy. Are you saying that with Ashton Genty? Because McFadden was one of my favorites, bro. I'm a Arkansas, bro. Arkansas all the way. Woo Pig Suey. Yeah, McFadden was one of my favorite running backs, but that turf toe killed him. And then he goes to Dallas, right? And then has two of his best years with Dallas. Fuck him. McFadden was actually funny story. McFadden was at Chick-fil-A um 3 weeks ago for an hour serving food out of the fucking drive-through, signing autographs at Chick-fil-A here in Arkansas and Fayetteville. That's where I live, in case anybody was know. And I missed it. I had to go. to Oklahoma to see my brother who was flying in for a wedding from California. And, since my brother was Oklahoma, I was like, well, shit, I'm going to go see my little brother. But I couldn't believe it, bro. I was so mad. I missed getting McFadden's autograph. And I could have had that motherfucker serve me chicken. Damn. Robert Benjamin Jr. I agree. Aiden O'Connell uh, would be it from having big wide receiver or benefit from having. Wait, what the fuck? See, that's why I can't read because shit don't make sense. Would be if it from having a big wide receiver. Come on, bro. You talk about me, can't read. Give me something to read. I don't even know what that fucking would benefit. I'm guessing is what you were trying to say. You must be voice texting. Yeah, those 50-50 balls. But we got Brock Bowers, bro. We got Brock Bowers. Like I said, we have Romel Keaton. They just don't throw him the damn ball. uh yeah, McFadden, I don't think it was the vision. I think it was the health issues. He just couldn't stay healthy at all. Yeah, Scatterboo's a beast, man. Najee Harris is a free agent this year. Should the Raiders sign him? Depending on what Najee wants. I mean, I was one of those guys that, you know, you can't go wrong really on Alabama running backs lately. Like Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Travis Henry. I mean, they produce some nice running backs. So I'm not, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the price, bro. It just depends on the price. And again, is whatever scheme, are we gonna build the run scheme to fit around him? I don't know what he's good in. If he's in, wide zone, power zone, I don't know what scheme he's best in. So I don't know if he fits this style, but if he fits, if we get an offensive coordinator you know, that he can fit in this style and continue to perform like he performs, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I mean, he's not the greatest. He don't have too many games. Does he have 1,000 yards this year? 1,000 yards this year, receiving. I don't even know how many times he's been over 1,000 yards, but I know for the offensive line they have in Pittsburgh every year that he should probably be a little bit better. He don't have great hands out of the backfield. Just depends on Najee. It's all on the price to me, I guess. Because I mean, we already have four backs in this, on this roster that I believe are all third down backs. Like none of these guys should be starting running backs, first, second down running backs. They're all third down backs that can catch out of the backfield. So I mean, Najee would fit in just fine. He's definitely a three down back. I'm now all in on Ashton. The scouts and these guys. What? The scouts are the same guys that we had under Dick Daniels and Ziegler. See, I'm not mad about that. I mean, I know they can scout passing, I know they can scout pocket passing quarterbacks, but I don't know how good they are, scouting dual threat quarterbacks. I think their scouts are all right. I mean, they missed on a bunch of shit with Ziegler and Dick Daniels. 2 years, 2 years. I thought there was a couple of draft picks that were horribly, horribly wrong. This year it didn't seem as bad. Wasn't really mad at any of the draft picks this year. So as long as you got the right people telling them what guys to look for, I think they were a pretty good judge of. Well, I mean, again, I don't know because I don't think any of those guys really judged Brock Bowers or JPJ. I'm sure they didn't really scout either one of those guys. Maybe Jackson Powers Johnson. I'm sure they were on their big board, but I'm sure they weren't highly scouted. Like, because nobody thought either one of those guys were going to be there when they were. But if the Giants take him one, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. Shane, take who at one? Ashton Genty? Giants ain't doing that, bro. They're not doing that. They just gave up Saquon. They just traded away the best running back possibly in the history of the NFL when he's all said and done. Like the man's a freak. Yeah, they just gave away Saquon. I don't see him going after Ashton Genty. No, no, I know Cowtown Luda. You weren't saying draft him number one. I'm just saying at all. I mean, I don't think he's making it past the fourth round, and I don't see us taking a running back. Before that. Would I love to see us take a running back in the second and third round? I mean, we have 2 third-round picks, yeah. But yeah, I get you. I get you, Luda. Yeah, I was not thinking Scatterboo in the first round. I know you better than that, bro. I know you better than that. But yeah, he's definitely worth considering, especially if he's there, after 4 or 5, which he very well might be. But there might be a lot of teams that see him as the next Christian McCaffrey. So I don't know. He might could go in the first or second rounds. I wouldn't mind Dylan. He's a good quarterback. Dylan Gabriel. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out, bro. We have to see, if they go undefeated still, if they win the national championship. Oh God, I've been on here 3 hours. No wonder I'm tired. Maybe I stop smoking. But I'm not sold on Dylan Gabriel. Like, he's not fast. He runs a 4.83 40. That's not going to cut it in the NFL. He's crafty. He reminds me of Patrick Mahomes a little bit, but he don't really have the sidearm and the, you know, overhand fake toss pass and all that bullshit. He's just on a great team. Dylan Gabriel is on a really, really good team that had a really good quarterback in Bo Nix last year. He had a really good quarterback to sit behind. And now that he gets a chance to take the reins, bro, like, is full board. He got a really good offensive line. He's got 3 great running backs. He's got 2 good receivers to throw to and a good tight end. 3 good receivers to throw to, 1 really good. Um, and a defense that's killer, bro. A defense that he's allowed to make mistakes. He's allowed to fumble the ball, make ill-advised throws because the defense is going to get him the ball right back. That's not going to happen in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel is not going to be the same player he is in the NFL that he is in college. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. It's happened once before. I like O'Connell. What? I like O'Connell, and the Raiders have never had a stud quarterback. Harris from Pittsburgh is going to be on the market. He's proven. Um, Harris is a running back, and we have had a stud running back. His name was Josh Jacobs. We've had a lot of stud running backs. So I don't know if you mistyped that or if I just can't read. According to Cowtown Luda, I'm not very good at reading. But let me read it again. Make sure. I like Aiden O'Connell, and the Raiders have never had a stud quarterback. Harris from Pittsburgh is going to be on the market. He's proven. All right, so I did read it right, but I don't understand it. But yeah, Najee Harris is a proven running back, but he's not one of those top guys. Like, he's not one of those top guys. There's a I don't know who's better at this point. Like I said, I don't know who all's on the free agent market, but I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at Najee Harris. I think he'd definitely help out Aiden O'Connell. He'd definitely help out this run game. And he's definitely better than, definitely way better than Alexander Madison. Um, Amir Abdullah, I wasn't, I talked a lot of shit about that dude. And I apologize, Amir Abdullah. You've been in the league 10 years. You are a veteran. That dude's balled out the last couple of weeks. And maybe he just never got a shot. But I believe Aiden O'Connell is AP's guy. He wanted the kid from LSU, but liked O'Connell too. I think Aiden O'Connell is AP's guy. Like when you hear him talk about it, when he's had good games, when he's had good practices, AP says Aiden was Aiden, right? Aiden was Aiden. He has a lot of faith in Aiden O'Connell. He knows, like I know, like you know that I know, and that Cowtown Luda knows, the AP probably wouldn't have a job if Aiden O'Connell did not play the way he did last year. If we would have put in Jimmy Garoppolo or Brian Hoyer, we would have lost a lot more games than we won. And AP wouldn't be here. And I think, he said himself, I'm gonna let my personnel coach. I'm gonna let my coaching staff coach. And he's gonna take it all in and I guess, book hotels and all that fucking bullshit and flights and shit. And that's what he's gonna do. That's his job. And be a rah-rah guy, get everybody pumped up and, maybe discipline guys when they need discipline, which a lot of people in the locker room have complained that, guys ain't being held accountable for their shit. So I don't know. I don't know. But I think Aiden O'Connell is his guy. And I think he made a big mistake by trusting Luke Getzey way too much and giving Luke Getzey, the power to choose the personnel. He should have said, "This is my guy. You make it work. You're the coordinator. You work for me, under me. This is what I want. I want this guy as the fucking quarterback, and I want you to make the system work around him." But he didn't do that. He failed to do that too. And it cost us a whole season. It cost us a whole season. Um, Dude, I'm happy I'm off till the 2nd of January, and I can really be happy about the Raiders and their draft in April. Hell yeah. Um, Kimball is from West Monroe, Louisiana, right down in the area I live in. Hell yeah. Nice. NGL. I have a friend that is a good linebacker and I'm hoping we draft him. I think we'll look great in the colors. I'm praying he comes to us when he declares in the draft. 2030. That's a long time, bro. Junior, my friend is a sophomore. Hell yeah. Scatterboo runs way more mean, not even close. What, the Labe? Dude, I'm telling you, Labe's a hard runner, bro. That kid runs for his size. He ain't afraid to lower the pads and put the smack on you or jump over you too. Um, I don't want to play slow running back. Nah, bro, we need fast running backs. We have a fast running back. Like I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Zamir White, bro. It's a huge disappointment, He got his arms all pumped up, all big, can't hold on to the ball. He should have been working on his legs instead of his arms because with that speed and that size, he should be a devastating fucking running back in the NFL. I don't know what happened to Zamir White, bro. Just totally disappointed. I had very big hopes for that guy. You know, I thought with this running game and now the dude, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I feel bad for Zamir, but man, I thought with his speed and his size that he was gonna be that dude for us for a long time, for many years to come, right? I mean, you're that big, you should be able to take a pounding, pause if necessary. Hopefully not like y'all are thinking. That Raider fan was good, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. I'm a little bit behind. Sorry. I'm slow as hell when it comes to reading. Where the fuck am I at? I'm out, Rebel. Luda, my guy. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Merry Christmas. Tony and yours, pimp. Salute to the rest of the nation in the chat. Say goodbye to Luda. Let's go, Raiders. We're gonna be good. Upcoming 25. Peace. Reports say Carr and Kamara may play Sunday. What? I thought Carr was out for the season with his wrist. All right. Well, if they play, that's cool. I like the running back from North Carolina, Marion Hampton. Hey, I like that kid too, bro. I like that kid. I like a lot of these running backs. There's a lot. There's some guards. We talked about that. There's some tackles. We talked about that. It just depends on where the Raiders go. But it's not the end of the world because we didn't get a running back. I'm taking off now. I wanted to say good night. Well, good night. Have a safe flight. Damn, dude, you pulling an all nighter? Well, I'm 400 watch hours away, and tonight is the last night because I think you have to do it within a year, right? You got to get 1,000 subs and the whatever, however many watch hours, 3,000 watch hours within a year. And today was the last day, so I just figured I'd come on here and ramble fucking my life away. And maybe get somebody to go watch a bunch of my videos. But since it's past midnight, it don't make a shit no more. Unless you're in California. Put my shit on your playlist. Watch it. Yeah, I'm pissed off, bro. I failed for the first time in my life at anything. I never failed at shit. I failed to get monetized, so figured I'd talk my life away. I did hit 1K and then 2 people unsubscribed. Because I tried to go live yesterday and it didn't work, and I don't know, bro. It's been a shitty ass week, man. It's been shitty. Oh, all right. I'm gonna read the rest of these. It's been 3 hours, and I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go smoke a bunch of trees. Let's just say that I want to be a good team. Whatever we do, we got to be better either way. I mean, bro, everybody's been praying for that for many years, my guy. I mean, the Raiders have had that stud quarterback. Oh, never had a stud quarterback? I mean, not in many moons, bro. And we sure never drafted a stud quarterback. So, bro, I agree. I'm on the train. We need a stud quarterback. We definitely need one. And I think there's a couple in this draft that are not named Shador Sanders or Cam Ward. And I guarantee you, this kid I told you, Riley Leonard, has already moved up the board. He was like the 15th or 19th best quarterback in this draft, and he's already up to 9 or 10, and he's still playing games. So I'm telling you, this dude is the next Josh Allen. He reminds me a lot of Josh Allen when he runs. He reminds me a lot of Joe Burrow. He's got that dog in him. He's not afraid to take shots, take hits. He don't want to slide. He's just all about football, all about football. And I think we need dudes like that, more guys like JPJ on this team. Uh, we'll get a good one at some point. We got a decent quarterback in Aiden O'Connell. He's not a stud, you know, but he did throw 4 touchdowns in the first half against the Chargers defense. Now, you could say whatever you want. Justin Herbert wasn't in that game, but he ain't on the defense. Khalil Mack was in that game. Bosa was in that game. Um, what the hell's their safety name was in that game? Their corner was still in that. Aiden O'Connell threw 4 touchdowns and a half. So don't sleep on this kid, bro. Like, we still got a whole nother offseason to go. and he's just going to improve and get better, especially if they the same system. Like he's already been in 4 different systems in a year and a half, and it hasn't phased him once. Look at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams drafted #1 overall, the best quarterback to come out of college in 20 years, right? Look what he's doing. 2 coaches, 2 offensive coordinators. Look what he's doing with the Chicago Bears. He's got weapons galore. Roma Dunze. What the hell, this dude from the Chargers? Moore. He's got what you call it, the tight end. He's got a damn good running game. He has a pretty solid offensive line. Caleb Williams is getting his ass handed to him way more than Aiden O'Connell is. I think he's been sacked more than Aiden O'Connell was last year in the 7 games or 11 games that he played. So, man, there's a lot to say about this kid's toughness, his mental toughness. You know, he doesn't get rattled. And you can't say that about a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. You can't say that about a lot of quarterbacks last year's draft. You can't say that about a lot of quarterbacks in the years before draft. Like people with, it only comes around so long. And yes, he doesn't have the athletic ability, but other than that, Aiden O'Connell has every other aspect to be a good quarterback in this league. But I still, yes, we need a quarterback. We need somebody. We need a Josh Allen. We need a Joe Burrow. We need a Lamar Jackson. Whatever we need. That's the day and age. You got to have a quarterback that can hurt people with their legs, with their feet, and pick up first downs when there's nothing there. Keep Turner at OC. He can lean on his daddy if need be. I'm not mad at it, but he might be, going to college with Belichick. How can you turn down that opportunity? Coach with Antonio Pierce, you know, who doesn't really know shit about coaching, is learning on the fly. Our go coach with one of the greatest coaches people can argue in the history of coaching in Bill Belichick. I mean, if you're Scott Turner, to me, it's a no brainer, especially if you're trying to be an offensive coordinator or a head coach again in the NFL. That's the way you do it. You become part of a Belichick's system, bro. That's gonna help. Please move Minshew out of Vegas. Have the guys on the practice squad move his stuff. I think it's already in a van down by the river. With Labe, I believe AP is old school. He don't want rookies carrying a load. That's why he's going to play more next year. I mean, rookie or not, it's still like he could still run wheel routes. Um, he's talked about how special the kid is over and over again, but the way he did them is just bullshit. And you know, you could like it or not like it, agree or disagree, but I think he did Dylan Labe wrong. Like, you don't give a kid one fumble who gets the ball stripped out by, some can argue, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive end of all time in JJ Watt, bro. You had JJ Watt knock the ball out, punch the ball out. That's one of the greatest of all time. So it's not like, just any scab came in and, smacked the ball and he fumbled. No, you had one of the greatest of all time knock the ball out. And then you had a coach not put you back in and give you another opportunity. So it's no excuse for that. Like, he doesn't have to carry the load. We have no running game. 3 carries a game, a fucking wheel route, a drag route, anything out of the backfield. He had a 94% completion or catch, whatever fucking completion ratio in college. He was rated one of the best, had one of the best hands out of all the guys coming out of this draft. Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Dylan Labe was the third best, was rated the third best pass catcher coming out of this draft. They haven't put him in for nothing, bro. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. To me, that's just my opinion. I think he deserves carries. Like for anything, to let a rookie sit and sulk in your own misery when you get one opportunity in the NFL, you know what he's got to be thinking? Like, bro, I got one opportunity and I fucked it up and I'm not going to get to play all year. You're ruining that kid. I don't care what you say. I've coached before, younger kids, and I mean, you can't do that to somebody, especially in the NFL. Like where he was drafted, he should be playing. Look at how many running backs were drafted after Dylan Labe in this year's draft that are helping their team win right now, that are contributing to their team. And we have no running backs. We have none. We have no run game. There's no reason for him not to be out there. It's just asinine, bro. But yeah, you got to give him some carries. You got to give him some carries. I hope Gardner gets his fair opportunity next season, next year, since Luke fired him. Yeah, I don't know. Gardner's going to get a shot next year. I don't think so. Well, I hit that 1K at least. Yep. And then I went backwards. We'll get back up there. We'll get back up there. But fuck, what a failure, dude. I never failed in my life. I didn't know I had to have, like, I don't know. I should have been paying attention to my watch hours. I wasn't until it was too late. Now I got to fucking start all over. Appreciate the sub, my guy. Um, no, just facts. Gardner was failed by Luke Getzey. No, 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 kid. Gardner was not. Gardner was absolutely horrible. Yes, they handcuffed him. Yes, they didn't let him be Gardner Minshew. I agree with that. But the turnovers and the lack of just the look in his eyes, bro. He wasn't there this year. He was never there. He just never got over that. And that's one thing I like about Aiden O'Connell is Aiden O'Connell will throw interceptions, and bro, that shit's forgot about. He turns the ball over, he's coming back dropping dimes the next couple plays. Gardner, he never snapped out of it. He just looked like a deer in the headlights. He was scared to be out there, and he had opportunity after opportunity. He had way more opportunity than I thought he deserved. Let's say that. I thought, you know, he should have never been out there after week 4 or 5, bro. Like never, never, ever been out there. Feeling like dog shit. Oh man, that sucks. Oh my god, dude, yesterday was the worst. If y'all ever heard of Jake's Chicken, do not go there. No, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad batch. My son was fine. My son ate the same thing I did. He got the hotter shit. But man, I ate 3 pieces of chicken, some fries, and I swear on everything I love, within like 15 minutes. I don't even think it was that, dude. Probably 10 minutes of finishing eating. My head felt like somebody curb stomped me. If y'all know what that is, well, cool. If you don't, then look it up. But I felt like I got curb stomped over and over and over and over again, like somebody would just beat me with a baseball bat. My head has never hurt that bad in my life. It just, man, like I didn't know what to do, bro. I thought I was gonna die. And then I was like, shit, I'm gonna go lay down. So I laid down. My son's like, you can take a nap. I was like, oh man, my head just started hurting and I don't know what the hell's going on. So I went and took a dab. That didn't help. I took an Excedrin, and like 2 minutes after I took it, I went and puked my guts out, dude. I was like, what in the hell? This is a great Christmas Eve. So then I was like, well, shit, I better take something else because everything I just took was gone. So I took an ibuprofen, laid back down. Oh my God, dude. It was like 5 minutes after I took the ibuprofen, went up, got sick again, dude. And my head has never, ever, ever felt so bad in my life. I was about to go to the hospital. Like, really, I thought I was having a brain aneurysm. I was about to be like, "Yo, tell my son, take me to the hospital," because I don't know. I ain't never had no shit like that. I don't know if I got instant food poisoning or what the hell it was, but it's got to be the chicken, bro. It had to be the chicken because I was fine until I ate that chicken, and they said they were trying and we're cleaning everything up. I don't know, maybe I got some shit contaminated or what the hell, dude. But it was bad. It was bad, and the chicken tasted good. It was pretty damn good. It was spicy. It was good, but shit, I went to sleep at like 8 o'clock last night, and I woke up this morning dying, like still dying. At like 6 o'clock, head was still pounding. I was like, oh shit. It finally about an hour or two later, it was good. So man, I don't know. Something was just going around, or it felt like if any of y'all got COVID when COVID was going around, that's what it felt like. It felt like I got COVID because when I got that shit, somebody had taken the booster, and I was at their house working, and they didn't tell me they took the booster. And man, I was there working for like an hour, and I started getting real dizzy. My head started hurting, and my girlfriend at the time was working with me, and she's like, "I don't feel good. I'm gonna go outside and lay down." I go outside, and she's getting sick, and um, face is beat red. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "No." So I asked the lady. She had a blood pressure cuff at the house because they were older people, and we checked her blood pressure, and like it was like through the roof. And usually her blood pressure is low, so it felt like a COVID thing, like just hit like that fast. And but that lasted for a couple of days. But man, that's what it felt like. Just crazy, crazy intense headache. So hopefully you ain't feeling that bad. But I like the quarterback from Notre Dame too, even though I hate Notre Dame. See, like I'm not a Notre Dame fan either. I've never been a Notre Dame fan. I like Michael Mayer. Uh, Michael Mayers that came from there. Myers, Mayer, whatever the hell his name is. But yeah, I really like Riley Leonard, dude. This kid is he has all the intelligence. He runs a 4.5 40 at quarterback. A 4.5 40 at quarterback is sickening, but a 4.5 40 for a white 6'4" quarterback, dude, that's impressive as hell. Like that's impressive as hell. I ran a 4.6 40 in junior high and high school, but I'm only 5'10", so I thought I was fast as hell at 4.6. And that was actually probably 25 years ago too. Back then, that was fast as hell. Yeah, 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 yeah. But it was Christmas. I had to come on, talk to the nation, and fuck. As you can see, I could ramble all day long. 3.5 hours solo, like, which sucks because I should probably just delete this, but ain't nobody gonna rewatch it. All right. I'll read the rest of these and I gotta get off, bro. I was surprised when O'Connell took off running last week. Dude, you and 50,000 others, like, or 50 million others. I think the whole world was in shock when Aiden O'Connell took off running. But I've been saying his whole career because I watched him at Purdue and I went back and watched film and I had somebody arguing with me saying he has minus 200 yards rushing in his career at Notre Dame. I mean, not at Purdue. And I was like, bro, he's been sacked like 5,000 times at Purdue. And when you get sacked, it takes away from your rushing yards, right? So, like, it takes away every time you try to run, takes away from that shit. So when you're trying to scramble and you get scrambled for a loss, it eats up your yardage. But I've seen Aiden O'Connell run for 15-yard gains, 20-yard gains, 10, 12, nothing bigger than that. But I've seen him run for some 12, 15-yard gains in college. And he's actually faster than Patrick Mahomes 40 time wise, which is crazy. I don't know how he's faster than Patrick Mahomes, but um Labe, 3 touches, 3 fumbles. No, 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 no. Bro, you're wrong. He dropped that kickoff, fumbled to Watt, and fumbled in the preseason. Cut him, kick out of town. No, bro, that did not fumble the kickoff. I think he dropped one, but it wasn't a fumble. He got it back. And I only remember him dropping that. I don't think it was Lobby. I could be wrong. But he did fumble. TJ Watt knocked that shit out. Like I said, one of the best defensive ends ever to play the game, knocked the ball loose. And the other one was in the preseason. And he had only got 4 carries in the preseason. And he had his biggest run. And man, he knocked the ball out, fumbled. But that's the knock on him. That's people watch tape. And the shit in college was he carries the ball loose, swing at the ball. He's going to have to work on that in the NFL. But they drafted him for a reason. You don't draft a running back that small in the 6th round if you don't think he's going to produce or pan out. Like, so they had faith in the kid. I don't think his first carry in the NFL should have been on the side TJ Watt is on, for one. And I don't think his first rep in the NFL should have been a running play on 3rd down, a critical 3rd down at that. It was 3rd and 5 or some shit on our own 30-yard line against the Steelers. Like, this is a critical moment in the game. And you chose to put in a rookie who has no experience and run him to the side of TJ Watt. That's bad coaching, in my opinion. That's bad, stupid coaching. His first play in the NFL should have been a pass. It should have been a wheel route. It should have been a drag route. You know, run up the middle, stop, something. It should have been a pass. It shouldn't have been a handoff, because last year in New Hampshire, he didn't even play running back that much. The year before he was the running back, he was so good at receiving that they played him as slot and receiver most of the time. He took less snaps at running back, so he hasn't really got many carries at running back in the last 2 years. So that was just stupid. He dropped the kickoff and picked it up and got destroyed. What game was that? In the preseason or in the season? I don't remember that shit. Um, I'm with you till you leave. I don't care if I fall asleep. Appreciate you, my brother. Gotta help you out. Appreciate it. You dropped the kickoff and then picked it up. Yeah, I don't remember this shit. And I watch film on every game. Every game. Like, I break down film breakdown. I don't know how I would have missed that. So please let me know if you remember what game it is so I can go back and watch. Because I have all the games, so I can go check them out. Um, what else? That was Luke who called the suicide play for Labe. It was Luke Getzey. It was Luke Getzey. And I thought, Antonio Pierce would have been like, man, let's give this kid another shot. Like, let's not forget the 10-year veteran, 10-year veteran, Amir Abdullah, fumbled on the 1 yard line, bro. On the 1 yard line. Amir Abdullah is still getting reps after reps after reps after reps. He's a veteran who fumbled and lost us a game. We lost that game because he fumbled on the 1 yard line. We only lost that game by, well, an interception later in the game. But we should have won that game. Veteran fumbled on the 1 yard line. And bro, so there's no excuse for that. Labe should have had another chance to redeem himself. Now, if he fumbles after that, then yeah, you want to kick rocks. NFL is not for you. But you could see on the kickoff return, 50-yard kickoff return out of the end zone, 54-yard kickoff return. When anybody got close, he had both hands on that ball and was hugging that shit like a boa constrictor trying to crush your spine. So I think the kid's learned his lesson. I think he's going to hold on to the ball and he will make sure he has 2 hands on the ball. But as a running back, you can't juke, spin, cut, or do any of these moves with 2 hands on the ball. Like, I mean, you could probably cut step or spin, but it's hard doing any kind of juke move or, dancing around with the ball in 2 hands. You have to have it in 1 hand. and his hands aren't very big. That's another problem for Labe. I think that's one of the huge problems is you don't have big hands. You got to have big hands to cover up that ball. That's why I like taller running backs, 6 foot, 6 foot two, like those big guys. So you know what I mean. Big football players. Don't be stupid. Um, all right, that's all I got. Much love. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad. Fucking all that good shit. Running backs are a dime a dozen, bro. I don't want to hear that. Don't. That this will be for another show. Running backs are not a dime a dozen. Special dime a dozen. Special running backs. There are special running backs that come in this league and stay. Running backs are not a dime a dozen. I was one of those guys that said running back by committee will work in the NFL. And I believe running back by committee will work in the NFL if you have the right running backs and the right committee. But if your committee is shitty, you get no titty ritty running back committee, right? So I don't think running backs are a dime a dozen, bro. I think there's special guys. There's special breeds when it comes to running back, and the special breeds are you see the Josh Jacob is the Saquon Barkleys, the Marcus Allens, the Emmett Smiths. Those guys are not a dime a dozen. If they were a dime a dozen, then all the running backs in the NFL would turn out. They wouldn't be, you know, sitting on their ass trying to play in the CFL. Like there's so many running backs. Running backs are the most undrafted. There are so many undrafted running backs because there are so many. I mean, when you look at the college NFL or college NFL roster, when you look at the college roster, almost every college team has 5, 6, 7 running backs. So there's a lot. I mean, a lot of teams, they have same amount of quarterbacks. They don't have as many guards or as many tackles or as many safeties or linebackers, but running backs, they have a million of those, and only a couple make it to the NFL for a reason. You have to be special. Now, there's a lot of guys that get misread or that don't pass their test or whatever. Like, look at a guy like a Terrell Owens, undrafted free agent for the Broncos, 2 Super Bowl rings, right? I mean, not Terrell Owens, Terrell Davis, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. The donkey running back. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think these guys, the running backs aren't a dime a dozen. There's so many guys that, have 1 good year, 2 good years, and then aren't shit or get hurt and they're done. So I think there's some special guys. There's some special guys you have to find, like Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that's a special running back, right? Um, Derrick Henry. I mean, just a machine that runs through brick walls. Special running back. Ashton Genty. Special running back. Special running back. Now the Bears last year, they had a running mobile quarterback who got most of the yards, but they went running back committee. It's been done before if you have the right committee, but I think running back committee is shitty because for a running back to get going in the NFL, most of them need 20 carries. I preached this all year. I said it over and over again with, Zamir White. That's why he wasn't good this year. That's why I think Madison, okay, maybe not Madison because he's got 12, 15 carries and still only had 30 yards in a game. Zamir White, on the other hand, I think the most carries he had in a game this year was 13. That's not him. Look at his stats last year. 20 carries, 100 yards. 22 carries, 140 something yards. Like 23 carries or 25 carries in one game he had. Again, 140 yards. So most running backs need time, to heat up. Some running backs like to get hit. Once they get hit or get smacked around a couple times, then they get better as they go. Some running backs get better as the game goes on. Some running backs start out hot and slow down, get tired. But I think you got to have one bell cow that gets at least somewhere close to 20 touches a game, and then you can have another guy, you know 8-10 touches. I think if you got two running backs like the Lions, you can get away with giving guys 10 touches a piece or 13 touches a piece, because every time they touch the ball, it's fucking it's it's got a chance to go to the house. Running backs are a dime a dozen. He likes to drop it. We gave him the chance. Yeah, but man, those small schools don't matter, bro. People say that shit all the time. I think Dylan Labe is going to be a good running back. Watch. He's going to get his shit. He's going to get off in this league. Labe isn't special, bro. You're on point for most part. Labe is taking. I'm not saying he's special. He out of the backfield catching. Yes, as a receiver, the kid is definitely special. And if you don't think so, then you haven't watched tape on that kid. That kid can catch anything. His catch radius, for as small as he is flipping, dude. It's crazy, his catch radius, and he's athletic as fuck. He's jumping over guys that are trying to tackle him that are 6'2", and the dude's jumping over guys. He's a dynamic runner, bro. He ran kickoff returns, punt returns. They put him at slot safe. There's a reason he's been all over the field. Kind of like Singleton for Penn State. He just went to a smaller school. Now, if he get into a bigger school, I think he would get more recognition. But people think just because you're from a small school, that doesn't make you good. There's been a lot of guys. Look, Pacheco. I mean, come on. There's guys that come from small schools that people are like, bro, this guy can't make it in the NFL. That turn out to be that dude, but they got to have a chance. So I could be off on Dylan Labe. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I might be way off, but I think Dylan Labe, when fucking you can catch as good as that kid and you're explosive as that kid, you're going to be a good running back in this league if you can hold on to the ball. Just look at, like I was saying earlier, all the running backs right now in this league. The Rams running back, the fuck is his name? Akers or whatever the hell. Was he 5'8", 5'9"? Like, a lot of these guys are small running backs, the same size as Dylan Labe. I mean, the dude's what, 5'9", 5'10", but he's 200 and fucking almost 20 pounds. Like, he's not a small guy. He just needs the opportunity. Can he be special, bro? We don't know. He could be he could be the next Christian McCaffrey. You don't know. Hopefully he don't get as hurt as much as Christian McCaffrey this year, but he could be that dude. We didn't sign Jacobs. We gave Minshew the very same money that Jacobs got in Green Bay. That's sickening, bro. I know it's bad. It's very bad, very very bad. Actually, we didn't give him the same money. We gave Minshew 25 mil. He got 12 guaranteed, and Jacobs got 41 mil for 3 years in Green Bay. None of it's guaranteed that I know of, which is stupid. But yeah, we could have took. I hear what you're saying though. We could have took the 25 mil we gave to garbage Minshew and paid Jacobs, but Tommy T, Coupon Tom isn't into paying running backs, or maybe like I said before, maybe he was trying to get AP out the building and was like, bro, I'm gonna take the heart and soul of this team, Josh Jacobs, which AP has said over and over again, the heartbeat of the Raiders was Jacobs at running back. We all know AP wanted him back. And you give him 3 shit running backs and tell them fucking go try to win football games. I'm just starting shit, bro. Starting rumors, but you never know, bro. You never know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why you would ever get rid of Jacobs when the man said all he wanted, it wasn't about the money. He didn't care. He was happy with could have paid him the 11 mil or the 10 mil he was getting. as a for the 1 year. What the hell you call that fucking player? I can't think of shit. Been on here way too long, going on 4 hours. I'm getting brain dead. But yeah, agree. We didn't sign it yet, but yeah, the Minshew was signing was the stupidest shit ever, and I don't know. They don't listen to me though. They don't listen to me. Labe is none of those guys. Genty is the top 5 pick. Labe isn't it. We don't know what Labe is, bro. You seen the man in preseason when he got some reps. The kid looked good. He looked good running kickoff returns. Like he made 3, 4 people miss running that kickoff return 2 games ago. The man's got wiggle. He just needs to hold on to the ball. And like I said, I just want to see the man play. You can't tell me that he's not because you haven't seen it with your own eyes. You can't tell me he's not a good player in the NFL or he won't be a good player in the NFL because none of us have seen it. We've seen him get one carry, one carry in the NFL. That's not going to work, bro. You can't judge a player off one carry in the NFL. Lobby is the worst back in the NFL. No, he's not. Not even close, bro. Not even close. Samir White keep fumbling. Dude, Samir White fumbled twice. I think Madison has 2 or 3 this year. All our running backs have more than Dylan Labe. I know that. In the season. In the season. Why isn't he playing? I don't know why he's not playing. Ask Antonio Pierce. Ask Antonio Pierce why he's not playing. Because you want to know why he's not playing? Because there's guys ahead of him. That's what Antonio Pierce's excuse was. There's guys ahead of him. That's why when Zamir White went down and Madison went down and all we had was Amir Abdullah, they brought in Sincere McCormick off the practice squad. Dylan Labe was already on the roster, my guy. So they just don't trust in Dylan Labe because he's young and he's a rookie. And they're like, damn, there's guys that have been here before him. I thought that they kept him on the roster for a reason. If he was on the practice squad, somebody's going to take this kid. So that's why he's on the roster. He's never been on the practice squad. They keep him on the roster so nobody steals him off the practice squad because I believe they have faith in him. Peace out, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up this long. Y'all could have spent your Christmas or day after Christmas anywhere, but you just decided to be here. So, man, I appreciate the hell out of y'all more than you will ever know for sure. So, yeah, I don't know why this kid is not playing, bro. I don't know. Nobody have done well in Getsy as the OC. We were doomed as soon as Getsy was brought in. I believe that. I believe his system. I mean, we're still running his system, right? And it's working for North Turner. So I think his system is fine. I just don't think he knows how to run his system. I don't think he knows how to call plays. He doesn't know how to call plays in the right moments. He's not very good at putting the right players in the right positions to help win. I think he's got to work on all that. I think there's some shit he's got to work on, but I'm not mad at his system, bro. I thought the wide zone was going to be good. I thought 12 personnel. Look, most of our big plays still to this day, and even in the game we just won on Sunday, most of our big plays have been out of 12 and 13 personnel. So that was his idea. This was his scheme. 12 personnel, pound the rock, smash mouth football with 2 tight ends. And we're still running that scheme. So it wasn't Getsy's scheme. It was just he didn't know how to call plays. Like I kind of blame Adams for Getsy hire. I'm so damn happy he's gone too. Robert Benjamin, appreciate you pulling up, my guy. I mean, yeah, it was definitely all. Well, not all, but he was definitely in AP's ear telling him to bring in Getsy. That he liked Getsy's system. He liked what Getsy was doing in Green Bay as passing game coordinator, as quarterback coach. He liked all that shit. So yeah, he was kind of big on the Getsy thing. But Antonio Pierce stated himself He hired Luke Getzey because the way Luke Getzey beat our ass with Chicago and fucking Tyson whatever, however you say that name, Tyson Bagent on the team just dog walked the shit out of the Raiders, bro. He picked our secondary apart. He ran all over us like he was fucking Lamar Jackson, and their running game just drug the shit out of our whole defensive line and our linebackers when they had like 150 yards rushing. Um, they killed us. And AP said himself in the press conference, if you don't believe me, I'll find it and pull it up. Just let me know. He said himself, the reason he hired, not Tom Telesco, not anybody else, Antonio Pierce said in a press conference, the reason I chose Luke Getzey was because the way they beat our ass when we played Chicago. He liked the way their offensive line blocked. He liked the way their run game was. He liked the fact that they beat our ass with a backup quarterback. And that's why he brought in Luke Getzey. Now, did he make a mistake? Obviously, he probably should have brought in Tyson Bagent with Luke Getzey, and maybe that would have helped his cause a little bit. I don't know, because that's the kind of quarterback that they wanted. But if you look at our system was built for a pocket passer because our system was way better when O'Connell was in there or when Gardner Minshew stayed in the pocket. When Gardner Minshew left the pocket, that's when all our plays broke down. So I think the system was more designed for a pocket passer, and Luke Getsy just don't know how to design his own shit. But I think a lot of the plays were, some of the plays were decent. I thought the run plays have been ass, and I really hate the fact that all of our passes are 5 or 10 yards, and we don't take shots down the field. So yeah, Luke Getsy was stupid, but that's what you get when the guy you want at first, your owner doesn't pull the plug or pull the string and say, all right, let's hire this guy, give him what he wants, and let's keep him here. No, they let him walk. And then the second guy that he wanted turned him down and said, nah, bro, I'm staying put at Ohio State. Why would I leave this position to come help you when you don't know shit about football? Or you know shit about football, but not how to be a head coach in the NFL. So yeah, my boy AP was set up from the get go. But again, man, almost 4 fucking hours. I appreciate every one of y'all. I believe I remember when he said that. Yeah, so I mean, he admitted that he brought in Getsy. It wasn't fucking Tom Telesco. It was nobody else. It was Antonio Pierce, and that's why he had to make the decision to fire him. I thought he took too long to do that, but I thought he took too long to put him up in the booth. Also, like I thought when Luke Getsy got in the booth, the offense seemed to go a little bit better. It just we'd come out with our scripted plays, and our scripted plays were great. Is once we ran our 20, 25, 30 scripted plays, or probably 20 because it seemed like that's all we had. Once the Raiders ran their 20 scripted plays with Luke Getsy, the rest of the game was trash. But pretty much every game we came down and scored, right off the bat or kicked a field goal. Those first drives were good. It was just after the first and second drive, it was dumb. So yeah, we were doomed from the get go. But I'm gonna get off here. I will be back tomorrow. Much love as always. Raiders. Peace and elbow grease. Oh, how do I end this shit? Oh yeah, they should have fired that fool halfway through the season. But you live and learn, man. You live and learn. Peace.